The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93
Yeah, you can ask Josh. He knows. No guarantees on a Thursday show.
Well, you know what? I didn't even know it was a Thursday show until about 25 minutes ago.
What day were you under the impression it was?
I thought it was Wednesday.
I also thought it was a Wednesday.
You know how sometimes it syncs up? Obviously, between you and I, Wapple, that's the case. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have that situation?
I was under the impression it was Friday for the first 10, 15 minutes of my day.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
That sucks.
I was like, oh, that's worse than thinking it's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was just telling my esteemed colleagues in here, Nick and Ashley, that last night I'm like, shoot, I got to get something ready for Thursday, but I got 2 days for that. And then I got here and thought, I got to scoot because I had no idea today was Thursday.
Thursdays can be iffy.
Yeah, no guarantees, like you said. Sometimes it's not even guaranteed we know what day it is.
They can be iffy at best. We welcome you to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show. We're making our way best we can towards the end of the work week. You guys will get your hands on a calendar before the day's over. You'll be dialed in for the rest of the week.
Oh, yeah, I looked.
An in-studio guest can keep things interesting. Today, veterinarian Dr. Andrea Johnston will pay us a visit. If and you need a little help figuring out your dog or your kitty, go ahead and text in a question. I mean, it's plenty early right now. We're planning on having Dr. Andrea up and running on air around 8:30, so you got plenty of time. But if now's the only opportunity you have, and you have a question about your dog or cat, you can text it in, 651-989-9393. A very helpful, informational, very popular gimmick on this here radio program. Dr. Damn Andrea.
Yeah, it seems like darn near everyone has some sort of pet, and it's nice having her in here to answer a couple of free questions. And she's never been stumped. I don't think we've
that's
ever.
true.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had a guest that can just instantaneously any answer you need. I mean, we don't give her a heads up on what's coming.
No, we don't.
She knows everything. She's great.
Dr. P. Jesus, our human doctor, I guess. Every once in a while, as bright as he is, absolutely brilliant guy, as bright as he is, every once in a while, a question will come in where he'll say, look, I'm going to have to check the internet on that one. Dr. Andrea never had to go down that route.
I think part of his...
She's that damn good.
He's afraid he's going to give the wrong information and someone's grandma's going to pass away because of it, you know? I think he's got a little bit of that.
That's a good point.
But, yeah, there are times where the look on his face says, that's a made-up condition. I've never heard it. And then I come back and say, oh, no, that's a legit deal.
Yeah, Dr. Andrea, popping on by, like I said, we'll try to get her cooking around 8:30. You guys ever met a dog with no eyes?
I have not.
I've met a dog that had one eye.
Me too.
The only deformed dog I've ever met had 3 legs. One of my dog's eyes is very droopy, and people comment. Yeah, I think you mentioned it last time you were over.
I did.
Yeah, Rocky, he's got a droopy eye.
Looks like maybe he got attacked by bees at one point or another.
He was a stray. You know, they found him running around the neighborhood somewhere.
When I was a high school kid, Josh, a friend of mine had a dog, and then the eyes fell out.
Just get like some sort of virus or something, or what happened? Is there an eye-eating bug?
It's been a long time, but I believe it was cancer.
Oh. So they had to take him out?
Took him smooth out, sewed him shut. It was It was a hell of a deal. It was a hell of a deal.
That seems like a horror movie.
I'm not laughing at the dog, but somebody just texted and said, "I have 3 legs." Oh, I'll bet you do. I bet you do.
If I remember right, because it was a lot of years ago, we used to go to this person's house quite a bit when we were in high school, and even some time after high school, we would socialize a lot with this person, and it was, if I remember right, a very, very sweet golden retriever, but they're all sweet. The eyes fell out, and they sewed them shut, but it still was a very happy and active dog, and it adapted. I think Dr. Andrea has mentioned this on the radio many times. It's amazing how well dogs, all pets, can adapt. There's another word that I want to use, which would just be perfect in this situation, and I can't come up with it. They're very blank. They're very...
Well, yeah, able
Resilient?
to adapt.
Resilient is the word. Yes, thank you, Ashley.
So they, I guess I've met a deaf dog,
Yeah.
and his bark was hilarious. You know, he didn't know.
Just durr.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
very, very squeaky, like
Yeah.
a bad saxophone of some sort.
It makes me sad seeing like dogs that are older, and so they lose their hearing and their vision, trying to walk around, because if you watch them, like sometimes they have no idea where the heck they're going, and they'll just run right into like the side of your wheel or something. That's
The side of your wheel.
I was picturing like a car parked
We're
in the driveway.
outdoors at this point.
I picked because that's one time I saw like a very old dog that was blind and deaf, and I felt so bad
You
watching
ain't
him
kidding.
just headbutt something, and oh no, buddy, come over here.
You ain't kidding, Ashley, because my old dachshund, who lived to be 19, was blind as a bat and deaf as a doornail by the end of his life. And he would knock into things, and so I'm ringside for this every day, and it was a lot of laughs. Although, of course, you feel kind of bad for the end. But every once in a while, he slept a lot. Towards the end of his life, all he did was sleep, and good for him. He earned it, right? He'd been around for 19 years. He would sleep and sleep and sleep, and then every once in a while, he'd hop down off the couch, and this was my favorite little gimmick. He'd take about 20 little dachshund steps out into the middle of the room, and then I could tell by the look on his face, I could tell he was thinking, well, hang on. Where the hell am I? Because he'd trot along like everything is normal. Then he'd hit the brakes and kind of, he's trying to look around and trying to find out where he's at. He had no idea where he was at. And I would go, hey, man, over here. And then he would know. Dr. Andrea, nice lady. I still, every once in a while, I think about that dog from all those years ago that had the eyes fall out.
Do any of you guys have any pet questions for her? Something you've been wondering?
Yeah, I do. I'll save it. Unless you want to hear about it now. You want to hear about it?
I look, the anticipation, it's killing me, but yeah, I'll look forward to hearing it.
I never really like to butt in, when we have all these listeners texting in. But
We usually ask her off air. That's why I was wondering if maybe you wanted to share something now, if it didn't come up on air.
Yeah. It's a silly question, but it is something that my friggin' wife and I wonder about. We've got this little Yorkie. Her name is Gertrude. Dr. Andrea has admitted on air that this little Yorkie that lives in my house now is the cutest pet that she has ever seen. The little Yorkie, Gertrude, she's one of these, like a lot of dogs, when she grabs her favorite toy, she shakes the ever-loving hell out of it. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That
Our dogs do
violent...
that. They kill them.
That violent head whip, right? This damn Yorkie gets so much torque and speed behind her toy killing when she whips her head. The friggin' wife and I are starting to wonder, can she crack her own head off? Or her brain's going to come out of her ears?
Like Jason Newsted, formerly of Metallica, how he talked about how his neck is destroyed from all the headbanging that he's done.
It's so violent and over the top. And, of course, I've seen this before from, damn near every dog I ever owned. That's an instinct of a dog. It's killing its supposed prey. But the amount of velocity behind this head whip on this tiny little 5-pound dog, we're waiting for the head to snap off and roll into the next room. So I guess my question for Dr. Andrea would be, should I worry about my pet and its unbelievable velocity behind its toy killing?
I like that question.
Has there ever been any casualties? Some people have been injured in the process. I know I have more concussions now, I believe, than a Miami Dolphins quarterback with the amount of times I've been hit in the head by one of my dog's giant heads.
You take a lot of headbutts.
Oh man,
it's like
split lip once.
It's like you're doing a year-long promo in the mid '80s in the WWF with Greg the Hammer Valentine. You're taking a lot of shots
collateral
to the
damage.
Head.
Yeah.
It's kind of fitting that your dogs are named after boxers, then, Josh.
Well, that's true. And Rocky and Apollo.
Yep.
They love to wrestle. I wrestle them pretty much every day. Haven't won quite yet. One of these, once they get older, I'll be able to take them. But yeah, just the tails and the head whips.
Well, be careful.
For life. Backyard haircut Jesus said his kitty, Turkey Bucket, is blind. He's happy as a clam, gets along just fine, but he gets a little bit startled when you first start scratching him, like, which one of y'all pet me? I'll bet it freaks him out at first.
That's cute.
It's hilarious. As sad as it can be when your pet goes blind or deaf or both. It can also be a lot of laughs. A lot of laughs.
Back to this blind dog. And I'm sorry if you don't know this.
The eyes, they fell.
The eyes fell right out.
Right.
CFH bass player Jesus wants to know, did the blind dog, did it pursue a career in sports officiating? Did it become a referee of some sort?
Come on.
He feels that it would be qualified.
That's the dumbest joke of the day so far. I thought he was going to say maybe did the dog become a blues musician or something. Oh, God. What a crowd we got out there. Did it pursue a career in sports officiating?
It was phrased perfectly for that joke.
He made it fancy, that's for sure.
He did.
He made it fancy.
It's all in it's all in how you say it.
All right, so there you go. We look forward to our visit from Dr. Andrea. And since we gobbled up a lot of the time allowed for our opening break here, I'll cut over to something that maybe won't take us so long to get to the bottom of. Not that I'm in a hurry or anything, but, we do have some time restraints around here. Tell me if this is something you folks are wildly excited about. Ashley, I always enjoy when Ashley passes me some form of information, any form of information that she thinks might be useful on the program, because some of it is really interesting. Because I'm wondering, is this going to be a very spirited conversation, thanks to Ashley, or is this going to go absolutely nowhere? That's part of the fun, Ashley. No offense.
When we've discussed show content, how many times has that come up? This could this could go somewhere and be a reoccurring thing, or it can just fail miserably.
That's the name of the game, the nature of the beast. But sometimes when Ashley passes me information, I wonder, is this going to be so bad that the rest of you are going to throw trash at me? But I don't know. I don't know, because it has to do with current events and it has to do with current celebrities. Now, I'm completely in the dark on both topics, so I just have to throw this your way and you tell me whether it's useful or not. Ashley has informed me of a celebrity engagement, and I wouldn't know either one of them if they were banging me. Zendaya and Tom Holland are engaged.
They are?
Ready, go.
Yeah, you didn't know that, Dana?
No, well, there's always rumors, but I never just assumed.
Oh, yeah, she came out. She showed the 5-carat ring the other day.
Oh, you know that's not lab grown either.
Oh, man.
No. A lot of people died making that thing.
All right, Ashley, so I'd say you won on this one.
Yay!
We got Josh and Dana over here, very spirited reactions to the news that whoever Zendaya is now engaged to whoever Tom Holland is.
Zendaya. But
Zendaya.
You're close, which is good.
What do they do for a living?
They're actors.
Let's start with Zendaya.
Actress.
Okay, let's go to Tom Holland.
Also an actress.
Also an actor.
He was in the new Spider-Man movies.
Yeah.
He's best known as the current Spider-Man.
What information did Ashley also include?
Someday we'll say that about you, Dana. Best known as the current Spider-Man.
That would be nice.
They're going to have to tailor that suit.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're going to need to get maybe get an elastic waistband on that bad boy.
Dude, I would love that.
Ashley says, I know Nick has no idea about either of these people, but it's a big deal for people that care about celebrities. Is that you, Ashley? Are you someone who cares about celebrities?
I care about these two. These people are very wholesome, and as far as I can tell, they haven't done anything absolutely awful and that's kind of hard to find with celebrities.
As far as we know, they haven't done anything terrible yet. It says here, these are Ashley's words, most people are very happy for them, but also depressed because I love this bit, because they'll be officially off the market.
Yep.
Yeah,
Josh
I was pretty bummed because I thought I had a chance with one or both.
Yeah.
Right. Josh and I used to know a guy who played that card all the time, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
He's just some regular schmuck bag from Minnesota. But when a hot lady celebrity would get engaged, he'd go, oh, dude, that's a shame that she's off the market. What in God's name were you ever going to do about it?
They wouldn't let you in the market.
No.
Nowhere near it. Not even in the
Hell
same
no.
block as the market.
He always acted like, oh, well, he just missed out on that.
Yeah.
While he sits here and does nothing in his mom's apartment in Minnesota.
You guys know Sydney Sweeney? Nick, you've seen some pictures of her.
Yes, you've sent hot pictures of this lady. She's blonde.
That's another one that people broke down about when because I believe she's engaged or she has a boyfriend. And yeah, the whole internet, all these men were all upset that she's with a dude. I'm like, she wouldn't even spit in your direction.
Right, please stop playing that card because it's friggin' ridiculous.
I do remember back, I started here in 96. And so the late 90s when we were the Edge, I remember our boss at the time, Nutcase, he didn't want the girls on the air to mention if they had a significant other. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
but it doesn't surprise me when you mention which boss we're dealing with here.
Because I remember one of our coworkers, she mentioned she got engaged, and he was furious at her. He was absolutely furious that she would ever take herself off the market like that publicly. It was so stupid.
And this lady coworker, the very pretty blonde?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
So he thought that was ruining some kind of image for the radio station. I don't even get us started on these stupid radio beliefs from the old days. Some people still play those games. These stupid. How does an intelligent person say it, Josh? All these little cliches. Well, that's not even the word I'm going for. Please help me.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
These little radio gimmicks,
Theater of the mind and stuff.
Well, that too. We're on 93.7, so whenever it's hot outside, we say it's 93 degrees. What's the word I'm looking for?
That was so dumb. That's
these little practices that they used to tell us to live by for on-air purposes.
Longtime listeners may remember I got yelled at because I mentioned that it was going to be 94, right? Which was the predicted temperature.
Right.
And our boss called me in the office. He's like, how hot did you say I was going to get today? I'm like, 94. He's like, oh, really? So you just want listeners to turn to 94.5 KS95? I'm like, what are you talking about? There's just robots out there? Or
that's
brainless
exactly
zombies?
what I'm talking about.
Must listen to Dez. Must listen to Crisco. Here's the thing. If I ever said legitimately it's going to be 93.7 and it's actually going to be 89, because there was quite a window he'd want you to go for.
Yeah.
People would think we were morons.
I'll have a nervous breakdown. But
More so than usual.
That's exactly the stuff I'm talking about. So this old boss of ours didn't want the pretty blonde lady DJ to say that she was engaged because it would turn off the male listeners. Shut your hole. Let people be who they are. You said Sydney Sweeney is engaged. You believe that, Ashley?
Yeah, I think
I have it right here.
Oh. Yes.
She's currently engaged. This is going to be trouble. She's currently engaged to someone named Tom Holland.
Oh, no. Uh-oh. Scandal.
That is a Hollywood controversy right there.
I take back every good thing I've said about him. That would actually be a pretty hot threesome right there.
Real quick before
I'll pass.
That's a blunt rotation that I want to be in for sure.
Well, you just kicked Tom Holland right out of there, I bet.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be involved.
Tom, you hold the camera.
He can sit in the chair.
Don't say a friggin' word.
So again, I'll ask you folks who are familiar with Zendaya and Tom Holland, do you think they'll make it? They're Hollywood types, they're celebrities. 99.9% of them are totally insane. They get married and divorced. I mean, at a wicked pace. We regular dorks don't stay married for very long. In Hollywood, my God, 20 minutes and they've moved on to somebody new because of the insanity. So you think they'll make it?
Yeah, they've been together for a decade.
Yeah, at least 10 years.
A decade?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wasn't he the one that said in an interview who would be the one person that's a celebrity crush, and he said her.
Yeah,
Right.
before they even started it, it was pretty cute.
Oh, before
and he
they
also
started.
predicted he was going to be Spider-Man way before that was even a possibility.
He asked her father for like her hand in marriage too, which I think most people don't do anymore. So that's pretty sweet.
More anxiety than hair. Jesus says he gives them a 93.7% chance of making it.
Insane. People might start listening to 93X now. Mouse and Jesus said he stopped listening for a few months to the show after Nick got married.
He's only human.
Yeah, you were off the market.
Off the market. Okay, so real quick, celebrity engagements, a lot of them get called off before they even make it to their altar, or however they do it out there. Let me roll through some of these celebrity engagements that were gassed before they said their I do's. I mean, we could do this all morning long, but here's just a select few that Ashley thought would grab us. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, they eventually got married, it says here, but called it off the first time.
Yeah, their relationships are just a mess. I mean, anything with Ben Affleck.
So they've called it off twice. He likes Jens, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Garner seems like one of the sweetest people in the world.
She's gorgeous. Whatever happened to Pete Davidson? There was a time where you couldn't cross the street without someone saying his name out loud, and now I haven't heard about him for years. It says here Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande got engaged, but they didn't make it.
That broke the internet for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I have no idea what has happened to him. I absolutely love him.
Because he's not hanging out with Kim Kardashian anymore or whatever.
A few years ago, my son, he's 13 now, and a few years ago, he was trying to come up with the name of Pete Davidson, and he calls him, he's like, who is that? He's the it guy right now?
He was for a stretch of time.
You're right. I mean, everybody talked about that. As a matter of fact, on like an internet mute filter, sometimes stuff that I just don't want to see, I'll throw in a mute filter. I put his name in there. I was so tired of seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, why does every other story have to do with it? It's not his fault, but why does this have to happen?
I still, to this day, haven't seen what he does. It was kind of the same gimmick with that Cookie Dan. What the hell was his name? Cook Nuts.
Dane Cook.
Dane Cook. It was the same thing with... For a
Cookie
stretch
nuts.
of time, Cookie Bang.
Cookie nuts.
Dane Cook. You couldn't move without Dane Cook showing up somewhere, and then bingo, he's just gone. Maybe that also happened to Pete. Okay, some of these go way back as far as celebrity engagements that were called off before they made it official. Demi Moore and Emilio Estevez. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I just I'm watching Demi Moore in a series that took me 6 episodes to realize it was Demi Moore. She looks so different.
I started that show last night, Josh, and I'm like, well, when is Demi Moore going to pop up? I'm like, episode 3. I'm like, oh, yeah, she's the one that's always swimming.
What? Oh,
Yeah.
Such a good show.
Yeah, I had no clue. So you didn't realize it either?
No, I knew
looks-
she was in the show, but I kept waiting for her. I'm like, what character is she going to play? Is she going to be some, cop or some high-profile lawyer? I'm like, oh, no, she's just the one that's constantly swimming in that pool.
I thought the same thing. I felt like my wife knew the whole time. She's like, well, that's her right there. No, that's not Demi Moore. I know what
can't
Demi
be.
Moore looks like.
Johnny Depp and Winona Ryder got engaged. This must be many years ago.
Yeah, some of these really surprised me. I've never heard about.
Oh, I knew that one.
That
just
must have been in
because-
the 90s or something.
Yeah, and it was a big story here, obviously, since Winona Ryder's a Minnesotan. So I think...
She is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's named after Winona, Minnesota.
F me.
March Madness Jesus said he stopped listening for a few days after Ashley got married, but when he started listening again, she was already single.
You're welcome. I did that for you guys.
I mean, yeah, some of this stuff goes back to the 90s. Julia Roberts, I remember when she was in every other effing movie, Julia Roberts in the early 90s. She was once engaged to Hosea Gordon Doc Scurlock. You folks know him as Kiefer Sutherland.
I love Kiefer Sutherland.
I love Doc Scurlock. Billy, let's finish the game. I cry every time he says that in Young Guns Part 2. Brad Pitt was engaged to Gwyneth Paltrow. I have no idea who Tate Donovan is, but he was married, or engaged, to Jennifer Aniston.
Who's Tate Donovan?
I have no idea.
I wasn't sure either, but I figured maybe it was like an older actor, famous actor that I wasn't aware of.
Not a
How
clue.
many times do you think he's been called Taint by buddies in his day?
Oh, so much.
Over and over and over and over.
Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz. Oh, God.
Have you seen Lenny Kravitz lately?
No, I have not, and I don't have anything against the man personally, but he was another guy you could not escape for about a 3-year stretch of time, and I got so tired of his music.
He got rich by never buying a shirt.
What was that song he had that just drove us?
Go that way.
Are you going to go my way?
Yeah, that's the one.
Shut it. He was engaged in the
If you haven't seen him lately, just look up a picture of him 30 years ago. He looks exactly the same.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He likes tight pants, that's for sure.
Oh. Are you going to go my way?
We used to play that so
I just wanted to bash my head into a brick wall. Ryan Reynolds was once engaged to Alanis Morissette. Boy, he dodged a bullet there.
That took me by surprise.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Two of some of the most famous Canadians of all time. Mm-hmm. Gamer Jesus. Yeah, I'd be pretty bummed out if Ryan Reynolds was off the market. Oh, he is off the market. Mm-hmm. Gamer Jesus said, knowing Dana's getting married, he might walk away from the show. He can't handle that.
Oh.
We were just talking about your engagement off air, Dana.
Oh, yeah?
I think it's pretty funny that we don't think we're invited to your wedding. I had asked Ashley, like, when is he getting married? She's like, in March. Wait a minute here.
I'm right? March?
Yeah, in March. End of March.
That's hilarious.
There's a lot of drama. Not drama, but just it's a lot of stress. Don't get married ever.
What's the problem?
Oh, just so many people to invite, and she has the biggest family known to man, and it's a crunch right now trying to figure this all out.
Weddings can be very stressful.
Just invite everybody.
Okay. Like everybody listening right now?
Yeah.
You just invite
Huge
who you
party.
want. It's your wedding.
I know. You would think that, but it never is. Families, well, why didn't you invite cousin Joey that you haven't seen in 19 years?
Well, that's why I'm saying just invite everybody.
Well, see, I understand I guess maybe this makes a difference. It depends on who's paying for it, right? We paid for our own. So my mom was kind of like that. Well, you got to invite this person. I'm like, no, I can't afford to keep inviting all these people.
So you're stressed out, huh? It's become a thing?
Yeah, a little bit,
You don't deal well with stress.
No, we can tell.
Yeah.
We can tell something's going on.
Even just talking about it, I can tell you're tightly wound.
Yeah, I mean, it is a stressful time, but it's exciting, too.
You'll get through it.
I like how you just kind of remembered, I should say something positive.
Yeah, better say something good about that.
That wasn't terribly convincing.
No, not at all.
I mean, just take it easy, because really, deep down, you should know something. Deep down, your friends and family really don't care.
I'm aware.
They don't care if they get invited or not, most of them. Like the four of us here that you work with, we don't really care to be invited to weddings or receptions anymore.
We actually think it's kind of funny that we weren't invited.
Yeah. Don't hurt yourself, Dana.
Oh, I'm not.
All right.
Dana?
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Right. I don't like the way the vibe in the room right now.
He set down the pen knife he had in his hand.
I definitely understand.
The real knife, actually.
We got to get going again. We look forward to our visit from Dr. Andrea. And by God, already we have all these texts about your pets. We'll try to get them all sorted out. 8:30 this morning, Dr. Andrea Johnston will be in studio to answer questions about your pets. Stupid news coming up, this, that. We'll be back in a few minutes here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
Everyone knows that it's playoff time for football. But did you know football is a conspiracy to sell food? Mean Joe Green likes a certain brand of soda.
With a smile.
Troy Polamalu uses a certain kind of shampoo. That Justin Tucker is a trained opera singer. We can't guarantee that you'll learn all this by listening to the Jim Rowe Show podcast, but you will definitely be well informed on the latest takes on the playoffs, coach hirings, and the draft. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
For starters, let's talk love making. Full-on, passionate love making. Some of you like it rough, don't you? Filthy bastards. Animals. Some of you. Just straight up animals. Here's a couple where things started out a little rough in the sack, and then it just turned mental. Josh, when you take a lover...
Go on.
Mm-hmm. Do you maybe set some ground rules before the physical activity begins?
I've never done that, but
No.
if somebody likes it rough, I might put a little extra oomph in a thrust or two, but I'm not going to continue that for very long.
In a terrible region of the southern United States, and you guys know where I mean, just a couple nights ago, a 61-year-old dode by the name James Newland, 61-year-old. He and his 33-year-old boyfriend, the two of them ducked into the bedroom to fold each other in half. This is over at James' apartment. James Newland, he's the 61-year-old. His boyfriend, 33.
Nice.
I got to say, his mugshot, he does not look in his 60s. I don't think even close.
No, he looks
He
as
kind of
if-
looks like a movie star a little bit.
He kind of looks as if maybe he's had some work done
Yeah, maybe you're right.
on his face.
Yes.
Okay. So they ducked into James' bedroom to bump. According to the story here, once they were in the bedroom, James told his much younger boyfriend, he says, looky here, I like it rough. Okay? So the young buck smacked James' naked 61-year-old ass. Thwack! Hard enough to leave a handprint. And that's how some of us like it. James did not. He did not.
You got to get back. James has to get back to you about how he feels about that. I could see you going, what the hell? Why would you do something like that? Are you mad at me?
Yeah, the younger dude gives James a hard enough smack on the ass to leave a handprint. Hang on to something, old man, he might have said. Newland didn't like the slap on his ass after all, and he told the younger fella, hey man, that hurt. The young dude apologized for overdoing it. He pulled his drawers back on, and he went on out to Mr. James's living room and chilled out on the couch. He thought, okay, I went too far. I've killed the vibe. He pulls his drawers back on. He goes out to the living room. He figured that the action was over. Next thing you know, James shows up out there in the living room swinging around a damned revolver.
Oh, I bet that turned him on.
escalated.
And he says to his boyfriend, you want to try me? You want to F with me? The younger dude, scared and surprised, ran like hell for the door. Old man James fired a shot with that revolver. It missed, luckily. Cops were called, and when they showed up, they saw that James was drunk as a skunk. He admitted cutting loose with one shot from that revolver, but he said he'd never hurt anybody. He's only trying to scare his boyfriend.
Sure.
Normal.
Then he strangely accused the younger guy of, quote, hitting him with a gas can? And no one has any idea where that statement came from. I mean, the younger guy hit you on the ass with his hand. Maybe somehow when drunk James said it, it came out he hit me with a gas can. I don't know where that, no one knows where that comment came from.
Maybe it's a euphemism for the he's blessed in the genitalia area, and he called it a gas. I've heard Foster's can, but maybe gas can is.
My Lord.
Medical chicken lady Sheeza said handprint. OMG, yes. Daddy, please.
6:30 in the morning. I love that.
She's all riled up.
What does she call herself?
Medical chicken lady Sheezas.
That's
She
a good-
wants you to slap that ass.
Just a crack on her little bottom. Now, the next mistake that old James made was he gave the cops permission to search his crib. And the police found a big pile of illegal guns and such. He had all kinds of weapons there that he wasn't supposed to have. The cops, I have no idea why, also made a note in their report that they found a bottle of lotion located on the left side of the bedroom. Now, that's just an odd note to make in a domestic violence and gun possession, illegal gun possession case. But the cops noted that there was a bottle of lotion located on the left side of the bed in the bedroom. Lotion? What are you, a rookie?
He's, they're trying to pin him as a masturbator as well as a spousal or a significant other abuser.
Yeah, this James guy obviously has some problems, and he needs to be punished for what he's done. You don't fire a friggin' shot at anybody. What's the matter with you? What are you, some kind of a sick maniac? He should be punished, but there's no need to cheap shot him and pretty much write up, like you said, Josh, in the report, that he's a masturbator.
Not only will he shoot at someone, he's a masturbator.
That's right. So James was arrested for all different kinds of things. Hopefully the younger dude, nearly 30 years younger than Nutbag James. Hopefully he moves on to a dude who isn't a dangerous moron. One night many years ago, a gal called me a rookie because I had a bottle of lotion in my bedroom. So she comes into the bedroom and she goes, hand lotion? What are you, a rookie?
Love that.
And I was totally confused. I said, huh? Look at the hand lotion over there. What are you, some kind of a rookie?
It's like a backwards way of getting masturbation shamed.
And I said, because the lotion was not by my bed for masturbation, for God's sake. I was 35 years old or something at this time. I said, no. That's not what that's for. But I appreciated the line. I appreciated where she was going with that.
You like to lotion up.
I do.
For sure.
I do. But that was very funny. I loved her attitude in that moment, even though it was misplaced. I'll always remember that. And so whenever I hear about lotion, I always I throw that line at people. What are you, some kind of a rookie?
I wonder.
No, you go ahead.
I wonder how many women have had that same experience, because I know that I can think of almost definitely three men where the first time I was in their bedroom, there's just a big jug of lotion on their end table. And I'm like, is that what I think it is?
Well,
And it's unscented too? Interesting.
Oh, really? Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Tough to say. I mean, maybe there are dudes out there who still rock the Jergens.
It's always Jergens.
But
because of the joke. I mean,
yeah,
it's
right.
So close to Jergens.
Yeah. In my situation, that was for my just disgusting dry skin.
I've never said anything. I've just always assumed it's for masturbating.
I would guess, since you're a younger person, I would guess that the lotion was not for masturbation, because by the time you young people grew up to be sexually active, lotion for masturbation was far out of style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They started coming out with all kinds of lubes and grease and swill. You know what I mean? I don't think a guy from your generation used Jergens lotion. I think he had much better products to use. Where our dads, that's all they had.
So today's masturbators, the ones, the new generation of masturbators, they're using specialty products?
Oh, absolutely. Especially people Ashley's age. Absolutely. Lotion was for our dads and our grandfathers.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Anytime I see lotion in a bedroom, I always assume it's for masturbation.
Yeah.
But I'm an old guy.
You've heard the jokes too many times.
That's probably what, especially if there's a Kleenex box next to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody says of the lotion, put the lotion on its skin. I wish I need to lotion up at times, but I hate the feeling. I just can't do it.
I don't know how you can hate that feeling.
I don't know what it is.
I hate the feeling of bone dry. Oh, God, I'm always so bone dry. My skin, my face. I pour that stuff on like I'm in a Bukkake documentary.
Yeah, I can't do it.
That would be a hell of a documentary.
Crocs with socks, Jesus says, personally, he uses baby oil. I mean, he
Sure.
really pampers that thing.
There's all types out there.
It's good for your skin.
I like salsa, personally.
My God.
It's fun.
Chunky or not chunky?
Well, it depends on the day.
Sure.
A little bit of salsa, he says. All right. Oh, here's a funny text. Our grandfathers used castor oil. God.
Castor oil.
They did have a lot of that stuff around.
Why did they have so much?
Oh, my old man's hands were something to see. They were he just had a terrible problem with dry, cracking. I mean, I sound like an after-hours ad for a Gold Bond or something, but, I mean, his hands were just brutal, how bad they would crack, and so he always had a stinking bucket of castor. Maybe it wasn't castor oil. I'm sorry, I got the products screwed up. It was something else. It wasn't castor oil. It was something else for his hands, and maybe I'll come up with it before too long. The hell, what Someone, I'm sure, will text us. What's that old guy product for your dry hands? Someone texted in. It's 651-989-9393. I can't come up with it, but I know someone will. This will very likely be the most upsetting and unnerving thing you hear all day. We've all encountered one of those home inspectors a time or two, right?
Yep.
Certainly.
For me, it's been when I've been buying or selling a house. I'm sure there are many other situations where you might cross paths with a home inspector, but I've always found them to be good people, very helpful. But not this home inspector, by God. Not this one. Huskers. Huskers is corn huskers. That's the product I was trying to come up with for my dad's hands.
Oh, I haven't heard
corn huskers. Thank you, you guys who have texted in. Not castor oil. That was designed to make you vomit back in the day, castor oil.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Right.
Like they give that to you to try and make you puke if you ate something. I don't like lotion, but you know what I do like? Lava soap. You guys like that stuff?
Dude, that is
I've never heard of that.
I haven't rubbed that on my body in a good, I'd say, 40 years since lava soap has made contact with my gorgeous body.
If you ever want to give me a hint to wash my hands, just put some lava soap somewhere and I'll go right for it.
It was specifically meant for hands, was it not?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was like to get oil and stuff off your hands.
I surely remember the product, Josh, but it's been years.
I mentioned I like to use for self-time salsa. The texts are coming in so fast, I missed the name, so I apologize. I'd love to give you credit, but a person from Wisconsin said they're from Wisconsin, so they use queso.
Oh.
Actually.
Yum.
Is that a thing?
It's going to get messy.
I'm going to write that down.
All right, back to the last home inspector that you want on your property. This here story, I guess, is from a few years ago. I'm not sure why it's a thing again, but it is.
I think because the court cases are come and gone.
They're currently wrapping up the court case on this? Okay. In Michigan, a lady, she upped and checked her home surveillance video to see how her home inspector was getting along. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So the home inspector was scheduled to wander around her house and do whatever home inspectors do. She's got the surveillance videos in every room in the house. She checks them to see how Dinkus was doing over there. She punched up her in-house cameras, and she caught the home inspector, sick sumbitch that he is, banging the brains smooth out of a Tickle Me Elmo doll in her 2-year-old son's bedroom.
Oh, I hate that little doll.
Dude.
Ashley's takeaway from that is she doesn't like Tickle Me Elmo.
The
Not
little
disturbed
laugh.
about the guy banging a Tickle Me Elmo.
That's true. That's when it really set her off.
Yeah.
Freaks me out. I just.
This sick bastard, the inspector, he goes by the name of Kevin Van Leuven. Mom said at the time about catching her home inspector folding a child's doll in her son's bedroom. What if he had an STD and our son played with that doll?
Would have never thought of that.
There's nothing more worse than when somebody comes to your home and you trust them to do a job and they go as hard as to do something like that in your child's bedroom. Interesting way to put it. But I'll go along with it. A grown man jacking himself with a damn Sesame Street puppet that belongs to my child, that's gross and disturbing.
How do you not in jail for the rest of your life? I mean, guys like that, I don't understand how, well, I was going to say get off. I don't understand how the punishment isn't more severe. I mean, the gist is now he's violated his probation. He's back in the news for that. The court case is coming up. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
I don't know,
shouldn't he be in jail for a very long time?
Or a facility.
I'll go back to what I bring up almost any time we're discussing these types of dudes. I think it should be cut off.
I wonder if that works, right? Castration, something like that works. Dana, are you willing to try?
Yeah, for the sake of the bit, yeah, for sure.
Sick F.
Or like I said, you should have to earn it. You should have to earn a right to have a penis.
Earn a right
That's true.
to have a penis.
Yes.
Like passing a driver's test?
Yes.
Yeah, how do we go about earning our penile rights?
If you are like a respectable member of society and you've proven that you would be able to handle having something like that, all right, there you go. Then you get a penis.
You hit a certain age, a certain
But
point.
you need training, though, Ashley. That's like handing somebody who's never picked up a gun a 50 cal. I mean, you need training with this type of thing.
Maybe you get like a probationary period where they see, all right, so we'll give it to you for a year.
And you're on an island somewhere.
Yes.
Will there in your perfect world, is there vaginal licensing as well?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea,
There's going to have to be some vaginal licensing.
Yes, we want it to be equal.
Where are you going today, Donnie? I'm going to go take my dong test, my dong license test. Okay, this guy, back to this guy. What was his name? Kevin Van Leuven. He was effing a Elmo doll in a kid's bedroom. And the video footage is as bad as you might have imagined. Dude hammers the doll like they're at prom. And when he's done, he puts Elmo back on the shelf, and Elmo belts out that famous laugh that Josh played for you a minute ago. When he set Elmo down, Elmo giggled. But trust me, Elmo was crying on the inside.
Oh, boy, that tickles.
Yeah, he was putting on a face.
He was. Stomach churning is what that is.
You mentioned going at it like prom. I've had to look this up because you and I had very different prom night experiences. Like, wait a minute. You go with basically a friend, and then you're ditched by your other friends? Is that what you're trying to say?
That was your prom experience. You went with a girlfriend.
More like a friend, yeah.
And then everybody ditched you.
Correct. They ditched. Well, she was with me, but the rest of them ditched us. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
And wasn't after you got them all Burger King, too, or something like that?
Yes, I was. And then they didn't want to wait any longer because we had all rented a boat on the water, the international waters of Lake Minnetonka. And so I volunteered, and that was a stupid thing for me to do.
That's so jacked up.
I'm actually getting together with a bunch of those guys. I forgot that story. I'm going to have to bring that up and be bitter about something over 30 years later.
I wonder if she feels bad, like, oh, I got stuck with this guy on the shore.
At least you had Burger King.
Didn't get to go on the boat.
Can I ask you something? Did I seem happy about that story? Was that necessary to put that thought in my head? Did you need to do? I just found out it's Thursday, jerkwad. I didn't need that this morning.
I'm just curious.
Hey, Ashley, in your little fantasy world where men have to earn the right to use a penis, one listener wants to know if in the licensing process, can we pick our size?
Yes.
Oh, great. Really?
The better. Oh, no. How about this? The better you are as a person, the bigger of the penis you get.
The higher score
bigger
you get,
penis.
the bigger penis.
What kind of training? I mean, is this book learning? Is this, like on the hands? I was going to say hands-on training, but hands-on training.
Is it like driver's ed?
Kind of like going to like the police academy, you know?
They hand you a dictionary or whatever the study.
Oh, the dictionary.
Yeah.
Are there going to be calisthenics?
They'll be callous.
Sure, why not?
All right.
Can you imagine just, all right, here it is. They open a door and there's just dry ice. The steam dry ice. You go through a secret, and there's a glass cases filled with all these penises you can choose. How great would that be?
They all have different levels of hair.
Different levels of hair.
Like Build-A-Bear.
Hey, can you see them in both states? Adventure mode and just regular mode?
There's a section for the growers, yeah.
This is a grower, not a shower side over here.
Canadian crime. Unusual to go Canadian during our stupid news report. They're usually very well-behaved people.
That's the impression they give, for sure.
Yeah, they do. Funny stuff right here, by God. A Canadian up there in Hamilton, Ontario. Let's call him Darcy, because Canada is the only place on earth where you can find men named Darcy. You can test me on that.
I'm trying to think of a guy I've known, outside of like a Chris or something like that, which is more common. Dana, I remember the first time I met a Dana. This was in middle school. That was a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I've never met a Darcy.
I had a soccer coach named Darcy.
He was Canadian.
Was he Canadian?
No.
No.
Darcy Kemper's Canadian.
Like I said, the only place on earth where you find men named Darcy is in Canada. So Darcy had his bank robbery attempt go into the garbage because while he was up inside the bank robbing the joint, another thief upped and stole Darcy's getaway bicycle.
What kind of neighborhood is that?
That's some beautiful karma right there.
Getaway bicycle.
Hamilton cops say Darcy showed up at the bank peddling his bicycle a few days ago. He went through with the regular routine of passing a note to a bank teller demanding cash. Darcy verbally threatened the teller. He made a motion that he had a weapon on him. Canadians are tough, though. It says here fellow bank employees confronted Darcy. Instead of everybody kind of backing off and saying, oh, give the guy what he wants, I guess the bank employees stood up and said, you ain't going to get away with dick today, son. And they must have said something or another that scared Darcy because he left empty-handed. He walks out the bank, and he saw that his bicycle had been snatched. So the sorry bastard had to alter his getaway plans. He just ran like all hell.
Ashley, back to your thought that men should have to earn their penises, not just be given them at birth. Does the guy on the bike, does he get a pass? For some reason, he seems like the less offender. He's almost like a vigilante in a way.
You talking about Darcy on a bike?
The guy on the bike the one that stole the bike.
Oh, the guy that stole the bike. Yeah, he should.
Doesn't it seem like I just kind of had the thought, oh, yeah, I guess he's a bad guy too. But in a way, he saved the day.
In a way, he's a good guy.
So he gets just
he
a
gets
couple.
a pass.
Half a penis.
Yeah, he has to have
he goes down an inch.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's got to earn that inch.
I like that. Yep.
Canadian cops are still looking for Darcy. He ran and they didn't catch him. They couldn't catch him or they never saw him. I don't know. Darcy's on the loose. I'm sure they don't give two pumps about whoever stole Darcy's bicycle. Just for the record, Darcy is described as being between 5'4" and 5'8". So he's not the tallest Canadian, is he?
No.
Or is that tall in Canada?
I guess I don't know.
This here deal cuts to the chase right quick. It does. A lady out there in Toledo, Ohio. She's in trouble with the law. The local cops say that she left two of her young kids alone in the car in a casino parking lot. Oh. The car was not running, and it was below freezing. It was only 26 degrees. She left two of her young kids alone in the car in a casino parking lot, and her last name is Gamble.
Nice.
Hit the music. I should have warned you to load up a song.
Okay, well, find something. I don't know if I have any good ones on that.
Left her kids in the car alone. They're just young kids. It's cold out. They're in a casino parking lot, and her last name is Gamble.
Don't most casinos have, sadly, little areas where you can drop your kid off?
Never saw it.
Daycare situation?
Never saw it.
I had no idea.
I think they call it the arcade.
Yeah, it's always like something like that. Those never really sat well with me.
I've been to a few casinos, and I cannot remember ever walking by a play zone or whatever for kids, but I don't look for such things. So
is it like so the gambler can go all in at the blackjack table? Just push their toddler right in front?
Yeah, I know. I know a couple casinos that have them.
That's cute.
Game show host Hockey Jesus said, yes, they do have daycare.
Nice. All right. I'm going to go ahead and admit, no matter what you think of me, I'm going to go ahead and admit it anyway. I don't know a damn thing about Belgium. I don't know how they operate, not even a little bit. What I can tell you is this. Somebody called the Belgium Food Agency. I'm going to guess that's their version of what we call here the Food and Drug Administration. The Belgium Food Agency issued a warning to local folks. They say, now that Christmas has come and gone, skis, don't eat your Christmas tree.
Okay.
I'll just put my fork down, I guess.
Darn.
So apparently that message was a response to another friggin' message. Okay. A city over there called Ghent posted online. They posted something about Christmas tree needles could be used in making flavored butter. Okay, so the city of Ghent dumps that information online, and then the Belgium Food Agency, when they saw it, jumped online and said, that's stupid. Don't do that. Taking Christmas tree needles and somehow turning them into butter. That's taking the hippy-dippy lifestyle to, as Papa Roach once said, Josh, to a higher level.
Why would you want that flavor?
I don't know.
Ugh.
Yeah, your butter tastes like gin. Ugh.
Oh, gosh. Ew.
Christmas trees are not destined to enter the food chain, the Belgian Food Agency posted online. They mentioned the likely presence of pesticide on most trees that are cultivated for the holiday season. They also said, quote, there is no easy way for consumers to tell if Christmas trees have been treated with flame retardant.
I'm drinking some of that right now. I've been told my beverage has flame retardant in it.
What kind of beverage are you drinking?
It's well, I don't know if I should say.
Right.
Don't know there's 100%.
Oh,
but
sure.
I've been told many times. For folks that have heard it, you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I've been told many times. So
they say that
go
stuff
ahead, set me on fire. Try it. Not going to work.
They say that kind of thing could kill you dead, Josh.
That's what I've heard, yeah.
I've heard of tree huggers. I've heard of tree humpers. These are tree eaters.
Some of our neighbors just moved here from Belgium not too long ago.
All right,
That's fun.
I remember you saying that. Is it, Josh, would you agree with that? Is fun to have people move here from Belgium?
It's the most fun I've ever had.
Oh, my God.
Do you
our property value shot up, Ashley.
have you bombarded them with any questions about Belgium or?
I don't need to because the kids talk about it all the time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Nice.
The kids like to tell you, the kids from the family like to tell
one in
you all of
every sentence I'll say every second sentence he says begins with in Belgium.
Okay.
And then he'll kind of tell you what's going on.
You got to be pretty close to smacking this kid. These are tree eaters. Apparently they're out there. I mean, we shouldn't be surprised by that. People eat all kinds of things. And when I was a kid in my 7th grade class, took a lot of heat for having sex with a tree. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Well, some of them are. People have sent us pictures of some pretty provocative trees. I thought the people who would bake pumpkin seeds, well, that was odd at first, but those things are pretty good.
Oh, those are delicious.
I'm a fan.
I think I remember 1 or 2 of them ended up in my yap.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
It's Thursday. The day you used to get a jump on the weekend and start drinking. But now you drink every day. That's why we're reminding you, it's Thursday.
Yeah, don't get too excited, though. We mentioned earlier that Thursdays can be iffy. My God. What you going to do tonight, Josh? You've got you have 3 choices for your sports intake, okay? Timberwolves. They start at 6 o'clock. I don't think I wrote down who they're playing. Oh, I did. They're playing the Orlando Magic. Where do you put that on your...
I'm interested.
You are. What's the old slogan they used to say on Channel 11? Must-see TV?
Yep.
Would you...
Yeah, and it was Thursday nights, too, wasn't it?
It was.
My God. So, the Wolves and Magic, must-see TV, or you'll see about it?
I'll see about it. What else we got?
Pigs loaded up and ready to face the Colorado Avalanche here in town tonight.
Also intriguing. Certain years, maybe more so than others.
You're going to be watching a series. I know you. They got...
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, you'll be watching some dramatic series with Billy Bob Thornton or somebody. Stallone.
American Primeval starts today on Netflix. I'll probably be watching.
American Primeval. That sounds like a load of crap to me.
We'll see.
And tonight they're playing one of those college football playoff games. Notre Dame. Hey, you're Catholic.
I am Catholic.
You should be watching
that one. I noticed the Notre Dame game.
Notre Dame, and they play Pennsylvania State. So those are your choices. Or you can watch American Horror Trail.
American Primeval.
Primeval.
American Horror Trail. That sounds good too, actually.
Oh, man. You're not... The Catholic guilt's going to get to you. You're going to be wearing your Rick Meirer jersey watching the Notre Dame game tonight.
You remember when I had I have no idea why, but I had a Nittany Lions hat for a while. And I used to get comments on it all the time.
Positive or negative?
Positive.
Oh.
And I had to admit, I don't know why I have no connection. I just like the hat. I thought it was a cool hat. So I stopped wearing it because so many people commented on it because they'd ask me questions about, the team or my allegiance to the team, and I'd have to say I really just thought it was a cool logo.
Yeah, exactly. You run into folks like that think the hat or the T-shirt means way more to you than it actually does. Now, Josh, here's something for you. On the topic of, because we've spent a lot of time together, Cubby and I, over the last 30 years, every friggin' work day for the last 27, 8, 9, 30, however long it's been. I'm going to tell you about a hat you wore almost every day for a long stretch of time, and you're going to be flattered, and you're going to say, I never thought you noticed. For a long stretch of time. You know what NHL team sat on top of your fat-ass head?
I do.
What was it?
Well, the Wild.
No.
And I also had a North Stars one.
No.
Which one?
For a long time, you went with a Pittsburgh Penguins hat.
I've never had a Pittsburgh Penguins hat.
Yes, you did for many, many years.
I never had one. You must be thinking of somebody else with subpar looks and below average height.
But a massive dong.
Yeah.
Is there a chance you didn't know somehow?
Is there a chance you didn't know it was a Pittsburgh Penguins hat?
There is a chance, but no, I've never owned one.
Okay, then I must be thinking of a different team. There's no way I'd be thinking about a different man in my life. I must be thinking about, I swear to God, it was the adorable Pittsburgh Penguins penguin with a hockey stick. Are you totally out of your mind? I swear to God,
no,
for many
I
years.
promise you, I've never had one.
One time when I was a jersey buyer, back when I was young, and I wasn't ever really big into it, but I bought myself a Notre Dame football jersey. Notre Dame meaning absolutely nothing to me. I just liked the look of the jersey. And this was the first time I had to use this line. And it still comes into play every once in a while. I'm sitting at a bar, minding my business. A complete stranger walks up to me and goes, nice jersey. Notre shame, right? Notre lame.
Oh, hilarious.
Gotcha.
Ouch. Did you go home and cry?
He was one of those people who really thought, a T-shirt with a logo or a team or a hat with a logo or a team meant that you were just purely 100% devoted to that. So I said, it's a friggin' jersey, not a tattoo. Take a break, tough guy. But he came after me, total stranger.
2 hats in my life I stopped wearing because...
You wore a friggin' Penguins hat.
I never did. Never wore one, ever. I'll tell you, the other hat was the Minnesota Wild, one of the games they were handing out. It was a salute to service night. They handed out a camo hat, a Wild hat. And I was asked so many times by people in the military, where I served and things like that, that I felt like it was a stolen valor type of thing. So I stopped wearing it for that reason. I didn't want to give the wrong impression. I just loved the hat. I thought it was a nice tribute. But yeah, And by the way, I was very flattered that they ever thought I could be in the military.
What desk job did you have, sir?
The first time, honestly, it made my day. But then I thought, maybe if somebody else mentions this, I shouldn't. But and it was always like at Home Depot for whatever reason.
You wore a Pittsburgh Penguins hat.
I never did.
Do you remember when we were on that?
Your memory's going.
We had a bus party years ago. Remember this, Josh? We had a bus party, and I was wearing a Miami Dolphins T-shirt for no other reason than I had to pull something over my head in order to be allowed to walk into a bar, right? No shirts, no shoes, no service. Don't get me wrong. When I was a kid, I liked Dan Marino and Mark Duper and the Miami Dolphins and Bob Greasy and Larry Zahn. But it was just a T-shirt. Remember this, Josh? There were two younger guys on this bus party. I don't even know if they were invited, but they were on the bus. And the kid looks over at me and goes, "The Dolphins, huh?" And I said, "Yeah." "Oh, you want us to support your local radio station, but you won't even support the local football team?"
Oh, my gosh. I'm going to throw up.
And I said two words. Well, not two words. I said two things to him. I said, "How far do you want to take this? And who invited you on this effing bus?"
I would have acted like the biggest Dolphins fan in the world.
We got to take a break. Josh's news. Big friggin' Penguins fan that he is. Coming up next.
I don't even know what sport that is.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Hey there, I'm Paula Pan, host of the Afford Anything podcast. I help people make the smartest money decisions possible.
How should that money get invested? Why value? Why not growth? We're going to answer all of these questions.
All of them?
All of them!
From investing strategies
and the thing about tariffs
to economic trends and beyond.
In one episode.
In one episode. Can you believe it?
I got to ask for a raise.
What's 5% of zero?
Oh, crap.
Afford Anything. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
Well, we were out there just sledding down the hill. Next thing you know, people are just swarming down here in ambulances and fire engines. So it was, it's been going on for about an hour. So very unusual.
The search is on for a man who hid in a storm drain after fleeing a crash. Virginia State troopers responded to 2 car crashes about 2:35 p.m. Monday. Then a third crash happened shortly after while officers were investigating the first 2. One of the drivers in that third crash ran off after troopers asked for ID, but he didn't get far. Less than a mile down the interstate, his vehicle veered off the road and landed into a ditch.
Wait.
The man wasn't done yet. The fleeing felon took off on foot, hopped across the highway, and sunk into a storm drain. Police, aided by the rescue teams, launched an all-out search. Drones took to the skies, and over a dozen officers scoured the area, but the man remained elusive. The operation continued for nearly 4 hours, wrapping up about 6:30 p.m., but there was still no sign of him. The manhunt for the man with the Super Mario-like escape continues.
He went down into the storm drain. They can't find the prick.
No, he went into one. He popped out.
Oh.
And then he went into another one. And they hadn't, as of last night, they hadn't found him.
Are they calling him Mario?
There was a Mario-like escape in reference.
Oh, damn.
Things in Racine took a turn for the obscene after a man was caught inside a Wisconsin grocery store masturbating. Tyree Carter was arrested Monday, December 30th from an incident inside a Piggly Wiggly in Kenosha just after 2 p.m. Officers were called after a report of a man inappropriately touching himself in the store. A store employee noticed Carter acting suspiciously and initially thought he might be stealing, but disgustingly, the employee discovered Carter had ejaculated on the floor before hightailing his nasty ass out of there.
Man.
Authorities later identified Carter as the semen-slinging suspect, and Racine police took him into custody.
That's so bad.
I don't get it, man.
So bad.
Oh, gross. A food delivery van in Wisconsin never completed its route after the driver took an unexpected detour straight through the ice of a frozen lake.
Oh,
man.
Tuesday morning at about 6:32 a.m., dispatchers got a call about a vehicle which had plunged through the ice. The driver turned diver somehow managed to escape the chilly waters and hoofed it out of there on foot. Turns out they were trying to deliver food to someone ice fishing. The driver was taken to the hospital to get checked out, but it was a real rough morning for that person. Later, they were arrested for an unrelated issue and taken to jail.
that sucks, man.
What a day. On probation or something, maybe, huh?
Meanwhile, the fire department and sheriff's office reminded ice fishermen to tread carefully as ice conditions are unpredictable.
Oh, if I was that person that ordered the food, the guilt I would feel. But then again, I don't think I would ever have somebody come out on the ice to deliver me food.
I thought that was so cool. What was that? Was that Izades?
Izades.
Where we were, where they had like people on snowmobiles delivering food?
Yeah, Mille Lacs Lake has a couple of joints, at least years ago. I haven't fished up there in years, but they used to have a couple of joints that would bring you pizza and whatnot. Sure.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
A lot of fun
I
up there.
thought that was so cool. It's like, yeah, I'll have the spare ribs, and you just see somebody with one of those like pizza bags on the back of a sled going out there.
And then all of a sudden they get a fish on the line, their food goes flying.
Meanwhile, in Colorado, cops found a car stuck and stranded on a ski slope. According to the Summit County Sheriff's Office, officers found a note on the window from the driver explaining that he took a wrong turn while following his GPS.
Boy, did he ever.
A 53-year-old Minnesota tattoo artist has been sentenced to 15 months in federal prison for buying and stealing stolen human remains.
What?
Selling, I'm sorry. He's sold stolen human remains.
What the hell for?
You might, as the details come out, you might remember the story. We talked about it when it first came out.
Buying and selling body parts?
Body parts, yeah. Including the body of a stillborn baby meant to be cremated. The case is part of a federal investigation exposing a black market for body parts. Authorities say he bought gross stolen body parts, including hearts, brains, and arms, smokers' lungs, and the corpse of a stillborn from a mortuary worker in Arkansas. He then traded some of the remains with a Pennsylvania man in deals totaling nearly $130,000.
Communicating mostly on Facebook Messenger. Going to pack up your brain and heart tonight. Arm isn't here yet, but I'll send it out as soon as it arrives.
Court documents revealed disturbing exchanges with photos of the remains and offers from various body parts being sent. One particularly grim deal involved trading the stillborn baby's body, originally purchased for $300, in exchange for cash and 5 skulls.
What was he, building a zombie family or something like that?
Just a collector of the macabre, I guess.
Oh, I was thinking cannibalism.
The baby's mother.
You were thinking cannibalism? Like he was eating the bodies of the dead?
Related to this story or just in general?
Related to this
just
story.
on your mind.
The baby's mother, believing her son had been cremated, kept a pendant of what she thought were his ashes, only later to learn the truth. Prosecutors called the crime especially heinous and pushed for a harsher sentence.
Heinous.
His co-conspirators are awaiting sentencing for similar charges.
Well, that's an interesting hobby.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's absolutely terrible. Ugh.
2 high school students in Louisiana, 15 and 16-year-olds, have been charged with fabricating inappropriate messages to frame a teacher as a sexual predator.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I'd beat these kids.
Simply awful. That certainly doesn't help real victims.
No.
A 2-week investigation revealed the girls had created fake conversations on an online messaging platform. Detectives discovered the teacher had sent no such messages.
Oh, no.
The students created an online profile in his name to make it appear he was engaging in risque conversations with the underage kids. Then they shared screenshots of these fabricated exchanges with friends to make the accusations seem credible. Investigators determined the teacher was the victim, not the predator.
Thank God they straightened that out.
Yeah, no kidding, right? When confronted, one student admitted to framing the teacher. Technology makes it easy for people to manipulate the truth, but it also helps investigators uncover it, the sheriff said. Both students were charged with false swearing for the purposes of violating public health or safety and for cyber stalking and online impersonation.
Wow. I mean, I was just thinking back to where when I was, a high school kid, junior high kid, I hated some of my teachers. Hated them. Called them names even a time or two. Called them names. Never in my wildest dreams would I have come up with something this evil to get them. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's on an extra level for sure. Textbooks, notebooks, and pencils weren't the only items a local student carried to class this week. Officials at Cooper High School are investigating a 17-year-old student who reportedly brought an axe and a stun gun onto campus Tuesday. According to the school's principal, the discovery followed an anonymous tip, prompting staff to search the student's backpack to find the weapons. While the principal refrained from disclosing further details about the unusual school supplies due to privacy laws, she did stress the school takes every weapon-related incident seriously. An investigation is currently underway, and the principal said that student will face disciplinary action.
Kid's got an axe.
A 37-year-old Florida defense lawyer was busted for smuggling legal documents soaked in the synthetic marijuana K2 into jail. So inmates could get high, officials said. And now he's going to need a good lawyer. It's been a while since we've heard of K2. Remember that was kind of big in the news? Is that also spice, or are those two separate things?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, that's the stuff that you used to be able to just get at like the tobacco store.
Yeah.
Makes you not feel good.
A lot of people would smoke it if you were in treatment or getting drug tested.
It helps, like, wean you off it, or just because they could sneak it?
You couldn't test for it? Yeah, you couldn't test for it.
Nathan Williams gave inmates documents doused in the mind-bending street drug, also known as spice, and paper dope at a Jacksonville jail in exchange for money and bribes. He's accused of working with inmates and their families to bring the substance behind bars so it could be abused by the inmates, Under Sheriff Sean Coursey said at a press conference on Tuesday.
I think he thought that he could work the system and not get caught. During the investigation and what they uncovered, he did not seem to be too concerned about being caught. He thought he was pulling the wool over the investigators' eyes, both in the corrections and narcotics side.
Williams' arrest was part of a larger investigation dubbed Operation Stamp Collection, launched last year after 23 inmates overdosed. Since the probe began, inmate overdoses in the area have dropped 61%, the undersheriff said. The office has arrested 21 people, but said none were connected or were working together.
Smoking drugs, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of folks, they go for that kind of thing.
Be careful who you text. That's the message from Florida's Bay County Sheriff's Department after a 41-year-old Panama City woman was arrested for unknowingly texting a narcotics investigator when she meant to message her drug plug. On New Year's Eve, Octavia Wells sent a message thinking she was setting up a quick fentanyl fix before heading out of town. But instead of her usual dealer, she mistakenly dialed the number of a Bay County Sheriff's Office narcotics investigator by accident. Rather than shut her down, the investigator played along, posing as a dealer and setting up a sale. Wells showed up at a gas station expecting a simple handoff, but instead was greeted by a welcoming committee of officers from the Special Investigations Division. Needless to say, the deal didn't go as planned. Wells was arrested. The Sheriff's Department later posted a reminder, rubbing a little salt in Wells' wound. Be careful who you text, they wrote. Your next dealer might be wearing a badge.
One of the most stressful moments of my younger years was when my drug dealer, he got a new phone number, and for some reason I saved his new phone number as the same exact name as his old one. And there was, this poor person, I probably hit them up like 10 times at least looking for some weed, and they're like, for the 100th time, this is not your drug dealer. Like, leave me alone. Sorry, man.
I wonder how many texts that person got.
Oh, I bet a lot.
And if they ever thought, I could make some serious money here.
Yeah.
Josh, do you remember for many years there was a guy that would text in and bitch to us? he had the wrong radio station?
Yeah, I remember us being very confused and wondering, like, wait, when did we talk about that?
Yeah.
And then eventually, wasn't he talking about, like, sports teams in a different city, and that's how we figured it out?
That's awesome. Not that it was unusual for someone to text in and bitch. We still get a few people who got to stick up their ass and complain about this or that. But, yeah, this guy would usually be pretty mad. And, yeah, what led us to believe that he was listening to a completely different radio station, and I think I have this right, he would constantly bitch about something we said about the Washington Wizards. Like, dude, we've never talked about the Washington. It was just, wrong friggin' number. That was all there was to it. And I think when we told him, he apologized.
Yeah, they were just so close, right?
Yeah.
And that's back when it was just the 4 numbers.
Right.
So, we were 6'8", 6'8", and they were 1 off, whatever they were.
It's a beautiful thing.
This guy was friggin' furious with us.
Yeah,
we had no idea why.
Every day he was upset.
He probably thought you were gaslighting him, too, by being like, what are you talking about?
You know what the hell I'm talking about.
It's that time of year again. Florida's frozen falling iguana season, where lizards literally drop from the sky. A cold spell is headed for Florida and parts of the southeast, and with it comes the bizarre yearly phenomena of falling iguanas. The cold-blooded critters typically hang out in treetops, but when the temperatures dip, they go into a cold-induced hibernation, lose their grip, and plummet to the ground, or worse, onto unsuspecting folks below.
And they're dead when they fall from the...
No, they're just kind of hibernating, right? They just lock up.
Okay.
Considering iguanas can grow up to 5 feet long and weigh 25 pounds, you don't want one landing on your head.
Oh, take one of those off the bridge of your nose.
A biologist and iguana expert summed it up.
Imagine if you come here early in the morning to go walk your pets, and you're not aware these iguanas up there, they can fall on you, and in homes as well. They can fall on roofs, on cars. A 6-foot iguana, 25 pounds, if it falls on you, you're going to feel it.
For the first-timers or newly arrived snowbirds, the idea of lizard showers might sound like Florida folklore, but it's real. It's real!
Son of a bitch. Here he comes again.
Inside joke there.
Yeah.
One wildlife official joked people from out of state think we're kidding when they see the news about falling iguanas, but it's just another winter quirk here. A professional iguana remover offered a few tips to keep properties iguana sickle-free during the falling iguana season. The tree branches should be trimmed away from rooftops, wrap trunks with materials they can't climb, and scare them off with fake owls. I didn't know an owl was a natural predator for the iguana.
It's really fascinating stuff.
I can't imagine having to deal with that.
I bet there's some YouTube compilations that might be kind of fun to watch. They say if you find one, just leave it alone. It'll warm up and scurry away.
Be on its way.
Yeah. Netflix's new limited series American Primeval premieres today, starring Taylor Kitsch. The 6-episode show follows settlers during the westward expansion and depicts how the fight for land in the American West was a violent one. Actor Noah Wiley returns to where fans first met him in the emergency room for his new series The Pit, streaming now on Max. Instead of playing a green intern on ER, his character this time is an experienced doctor at a fictional Pittsburgh hospital. Each episode follows 1 hour of his 15-hour shift. The new series is not without some controversy. Jurassic Park author Michael Crichton wrote the pilot script for the 90s medical drama ER, and his estate is suing, calling The Pit an unauthorized rebranding version of ER.
That sounds like trouble.
Now streaming on Prime Video, the series premiere of On Call, a police drama about a veteran cop paired up with a rookie in Long Beach, California. The series uses body cam and dash cam footage along with cell phone video to create a more realistic feel. And tonight on CBS, the reboot of Hollywood Squares, with back-to-back episodes starting at 7. Drew Barrymore stars as the center square, and former Viking wide receiver / current NFL commentator Nate Burleson is the host.
My God.
Birthdays. J.K. Simmons is 70. Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page, 81 today. Folgers Can Jesus would like us to ask Dylan from the Chaska PD to keep up the subpar work and thank him and all of the Chaska Police Department for their service, which only in Dylan's case we've been told is subpar. Stuck in Brainerd Jesus checking in from Cancun, Mexico this morning. Hope it's a great trip.
And it goes against the vibe of your nickname.
That's true. Yeah, I guess you're not so stuck as we once were led to believe. Happy belated birthday to attached dog Jesus' not-so-little brother Drake, turning 13 yesterday. And attached dog Jesus is scared he's going to be able to kick his ass any day now. Happy birthday to Delaney, turning the big 09 today. And happy 53rd to water skiing Jesus from Walked by the Dog Jesus and By the Dog. That's 93X News.
Randy Shaver.
Leaving the proverbial back door open.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
At some point, I do want to talk to the kid and make sure that, if I can create an impact on him in any way, I think, that would be really big. And I think I'd be definitely open to doing that, for sure.
Well, that was the voice of 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall. He wants to meet the teenage kid who shot holes in him a few months ago. He wants to meet the kid, forgive him, and move on. Randy Shaver, did you hear about that?
I did.
It's pretty impressive.
He must be a religious person or something.
Did you see him when they were walking him over to the ambulance, Ricky? I mean, he just gets shot in the chest or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know there was video footage of this.
Yeah, somebody had filmed the aftermath. I mean, he certainly looks like, what happened? He's got that look on his face. But I can't believe, what a tough guy.
He walked to the ambulance.
Yeah, they sat him down there. He walked, pretty much on his own power.
And he had a bullet in his chest.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be crying so hard.
We know.
What the story was that this kid was robbing him? Is that what was going on?
And then they were fighting over the gun. I can't remember the exact details there, but
that's right. That's right.
Randy Shaver, good morning. Yeah, that's an interesting story. Do you have that? Do you have that forgiveness in you, Randy Shaver? Teenage kid tries to rob you, air holes you a few times. 4 or 5 months later, do you want to meet this kid and forgive him?
I would say probably no. that would be my first response. But I mean, obviously, Ricky Pearsall's a different person than
different kind of a guy. Yeah.
Yeah, you say he's hoping to maybe change the kid's path.
Where did the kid end up? Is he in jail? Come on, he's got to be in jail.
I would think so.
Jesus, criminy. You ever watch those documentaries about some sick maniac serial killer that, whether on purpose or not, leaves one person alive, and then fast forward, that person goes and meets the killer in prison?
Oh, yeah, of course.
They end up getting married.
It's weird how that does happen.
I've never seen that happy ending. But when I've watched those stories, it's usually pretty frustrating because that psychomaniac still doesn't want to fully admit responsibility for almost killing, carving somebody. That stuff is, like you said, you got to be a different kind of a person, I think.
Yeah, you do.
I might stay mad for a little while.
Yeah.
All right, Randy Shaver. What the hell's going on today? What do you think about this, Randy Shaver? The Pigs are loaded up. They're ready to face the Colorado Avalanche at home tonight. Should be a good crowd.
Yeah, should be a great crowd.
I'd imagine they'd sell some tickets to that one. If you ain't going down to the rink to see it happen live, the game will be televised on FanDuel X. Is that a real channel? Did I say that right?
Boy, I don't know.
I'm still confused by the whole process now these days.
I am too. I just when I talk into my remote, I just say FanDuel Sports and it pops up.
That's what I do, or I'll just say Wild or something.
Yeah.
Well, we might get something completely different there, Josh.
Well, we have different subscriptions.
Yeah, that's a good point. You don't have the filth that I have on my TV.
I don't have access to what you do.
They're throwing the game on FanDuel X or something along those lines. You're a grown person. I'm sure you can find it all by yourself. Pigs and Avalanche.
Is that because are the Wolves playing tonight? Is that why there's...
That's right.
Yeah, that's why there's the extra channel or whatever.
Yeah. So the Pigs start at 7. At 6, the Timberwolves and Orlando Magic tip-off down there in Florida.
Yeah.
On regular, old-fashioned fan duel. The Magic...
So they saw Zion the other night for the first time, and I think Banchero is back tonight for Orlando. He's been out since game number 10 with an oblique injury, and so I think he makes his return tonight. So the Wolves have had a chance to see two young stars come back from injuries, back-to-back games, it sounds like.
Yeah, that Williamson, he's just a load, and he was.
He is.
He was he proved that the other night against the Wolves. This Paolo, I think is the first name, Banchero?
Yep. Banchero. Yep.
Terrific player. Bigger kid, and I know you're saying, well, wait a minute, it's the NBA. What I mean is he's a little bit of a thicker built player, too, so he'll be something to deal with tonight. And the Orlando Magic have a set of brothers on the roster. Did you know that, Josh?
No.
Set of brothers on the team. The Wagners, right, Randy Shaver? Are you not familiar with the Wagners? We lost Randy.
Where did Randy go?
It looks like it dropped.
The Wagner brothers, I think they both went to Michigan, which has, I'm sure, just bringing it up has pissed off medical device Jesus, who's a Michigan State guy. I believe they're both Michigan guys, Moritz and Franz Wagner.
Do you know how close they are in age?
I do not. Why don't you look that up? You got one of those computers in front of you. I don't think they're twin brothers.
That's going to be my next question.
I think they're a couple years apart, but they're very solid players. One of them wears a terrible-looking mustache. Maybe if you look them up, you can see who I'm talking about. The Wagners. One of them saw the Top Gun sequel. So he's got, look, I've got a mustache. Remember the movie? What was his name? Rooster or whatever. So.
Honestly, I know you hate that, but
it's terrible.
It's one of the best things that has happened to men.
Why?
I love that mustache. I think it's cute.
Did Randy pass away? I see Wapple over there on the telephone. I mean, we can't even keep a telephone line working around here anymore?
Didn't we have problems yesterday, too?
Yeah, we did.
If we paid our phone bill again?
We'll get Randy back in the mix. Did you find out the age difference between Dos Wagners?
To be honest, it's hard because I'm trying to figure out how to spell Wagner.
Oh, it's with a W.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
That's what'll throw you. It's Wagner to you and I, but Wagner, because I think they came smooth out of Germany.
So Moritz is 27, and then younger brother Franz is 23.
Seems like you guys are making this up.
Dude, I love that name, Franz.
Franz. Now, they can play, those son of bitches. They can play. All right, well, I don't
23 and 27.
Call Brad, I guess. See if he's alive. How could a phone line go this bad?
Or maybe he just got sick of us and decided, I'm retired, I don't need to deal with it. So if I came in here with the mustache, you'd be infuriated?
No, because
my kids want me to grow
you're
one.
cubby. You're one of the best things that's ever happened to me. I've seen you with a mustache, and it works.
You would look very fireman-y, I think.
I've seen you with a mustache. It does work for you, especially when you grew the handlebars.
Yeah, and we were wondering if that was cheating, right? It's because the handlebar can look kind of cool.
Well, I think the cheating you're talking about, you go back to Brovember. What do they call that gimmick? Movember. When the Movember thing first took off, I believe the original idea was you needed to grow a mustache like it was 1976, right? You just keep it above the upper lip.
It couldn't be cool.
It couldn't be cool.
Because then people would think that's just how you are.
Right.
That's what you normally walk around with.
It's not Brovember or Movember, so Cubby, if you grew a handlebar, no way I would call that cheating. You wear it well, and you're different. It annoys me a little bit that every 20 through 25-year-old guy is doing the Top Gun gimmick. That part gets to me a little bit.
I'm kind of surprised how much that's taken off. It really is popular.
By the way, Ashley just said something or another about Josh looking like a firefighter if he grew a mustache. Someone tells me that at tonight's Pigs game, it is some kind of firefighter appreciation night.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's cool.
At the rink. I hope they got some cribbage boards.
Maybe some chili.
For firefighter appreciation night.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Gator Jesus said his cousin is a rookie that got called up for the Wild. It's his NHL debut.
Oh, that's cool.
Give us the name.
Gabe Owners.
Gabe.
I should have spaced that out. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, he's messing with me. You dick. Why would you do that? I was excited for your family.
You
Bart
just
Simpson, dude.
You just got.
I sure did.
That is the funniest thing that has happened.
Come on, man.
Gosh, you were so excited, too.
I was so happy for the fan. Gator Jesus, I thought we were pals.
For a second, Nick, you were, yeah, you knew exactly what he did to him.
Absolutely lights out moment.
I don't know how to phrase this worse, but as soon as that came out of my mouth, I knew, son of a gun, he got me.
Did you just make this reference already, Dana? Josh just became Mo the bartender from The Simpsons?
I did.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Gator Jesus, I owe you a beer. Or something.
This is really fascinating. This is really, other than what just happened with Josh. This is really fascinating. Randy Shaver phone dumped a few minutes ago, and we cannot get him back on the line.
I think we have him back now.
Oh, we do?
Almost.
Is he
we cannot even keep a telephone line working in this building anymore.
He texts me here, so he's obviously
he's back now.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Randy.
Randy.
I guess maybe his phone is the problem for once.
No way. There's no way it's his phone.
I'm trying to have
it's
hope.
my phone.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, he was having trouble with his service.
You know what? I think for like a brief minute or two, my service completely dropped. So
really,
where are you?
Because what do you mean? I'm at home.
He's at the old folks' home.
Oh, duh.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't have a landline.
I was just about ready to start complaining about your phone service and your not paying your bill, and then I looked at my phone and I had no service.
Dude, this is a first. There's no way I would have guessed that was your fault. No way.
No, not at all.
That was total wishful thinking.
It's always this place.
You missed a great moment while you were.
I can't.
You know, I want you to pick it up because the last thing I heard you say was, "There's two brothers that play for Orlando," and I'm going, "Oh wow, I didn't know that," and then I lost the service. So
we covered a lot of ground since then.
We went in some directions you wouldn't expect since then. But yes, we were talking
Especially
about.
I didn't expect.
Yes, Josh got. And we can't even repeat what happened.
Though Sofa King Cool Jesus thought that I was reading Dana's browser history.
So, yeah, we talked about the Wagner brothers, the Orlando Magic, and the Wolves play tonight. That's where we went with that.
Okay.
Here we are, January 9th, Randy Shaver.
You're going to be thinking about that all
Yeah,
day.
I can't believe it. I'm better than that. That shouldn't have happened.
Here we are, January 9th, and they're just getting around to playing the Orange Bowl. But, of course, it's a new twist this year. This is the fancy schmancy college football playoff now. They're down to the final four. So tonight's Orange Bowl features Notre Dame and Pennsylvania State, and that'll be 6:30 tonight on ESPN. Is that something you give two pumps about?
I do. I mean, with the Wild and the Wolves on tonight, too, it's like, I don't have enough TVs to...
Right.
I'll be flipping around a lot, but yeah, I will pay attention to that for sure, yeah.
And then the other half of that final four, I guess we can talk about tomorrow if you care. It's Texas against somebody. Ohio State?
Texas, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Penn State, yes.
Talk about ruining the vibe that Ohio State's involved in that friggin' thing.
Yeah, but they're playing great. I mean, they're the prohibitive favorite now to win the whole thing. So this is after everybody wanted Ryan Day fired because they lost to Michigan. So if Ohio State could win the national title. So
that would be disgusting. That would be disgusting, upsetting.
Let's keep it in the family. If it's Big Ten, it'd be great. It'd be great if it was Penn State, Ohio State. That'd be fun.
All right. See, I don't play that game, and we've talked about this before. I have one particular drinking pal who that's the route he takes every year, when bowl games come around. Well, they're a Big Ten team, so I'll cheer for them. I don't play that game. I hate Ohio State, the Iowegians. Name a Big Ten team.
Michigan.
I spend all year long hating them. Why should I cheer for them when they make a bowl game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand that logic, but everybody.
Well, this is different. This is different than a bowl game, though.
It doesn't matter to me. That part doesn't matter.
For the national championship.
I don't care. So why would I want Ohio State to win a national championship when I hate their guts otherwise?
Well, one of the reasons why for me, I'm going to cheer for both of those teams because I don't like the SEC.
Okay.
So anytime the Big Ten, which right now with an 18-team conference, has had a better year than the Southeast Conference and has kind of taken over as the college football conference power. I'm all for that.
Okay.
So I'm all in on Big Ten.
Everyone's got their different angles they take. That's all right by me. But I will never cheer for Ohio State in any way, shape, or form for anything. So, that's just how I was wired. The Vikings, in their first step towards a Super Bowl victory, of course, are scheduled to play the Los Angeles Rams at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California on Monday night in the first round of the NFL playoffs. The league is keeping a close eye on those wildfires, though. And I'll tell you this much. Last night, the wife had some of that coverage on the television. It looks like the absolute end of all time.
It does.
It does.
It's crazy. It's hard to even keep up with how many different fires there are.
I might have a new roommate here soon. My sister lives there, and so she said they're any second they're expecting to get kicked out of town.
Yeah,
it was like
it's awful.
It was like 90 mile per hour wind gusts yesterday over there. It was insane.
The video footage that I saw last night was just horrific. Okay, so Josh, your sister might have to just up and leave. Are they packing their bags as we speak?
Yeah, they're good to go.
They are good to go. They've got all their meaningful belongings.
Yeah, what they need.
What a horrible situation to be in.
Yeah, it's just awful.
And so there's
that game could get moved to Phoenix. That's the discussion right now. Is that Viking Rams game could get moved? My question is, how long do they wait before they decide to move it? Because
I don't know.
If you move it last minute, how do you fill the stadium? What do you do?
Yeah, okay.
They may just open the doors and let people in for free.
Well, that would be, I'm sure, a hell of a crowd.
Well, if you wait till the last minute and you're not able to, sell tickets or guarantee seats or whatever,
How about 25-cent beers while we're at it?
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh. Didn't they do that one time when the Vikings game got moved, because of the dome?
Yeah, they moved to Detroit, and it was just come one, come all.
Didn't they just open the doors for that game or something?
That all sounds right to me.
You could just request tickets online and just go and pick them up and go to the game.
And just go to the game, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was just general admission seating.
I say if they move that Vikes game to Arizona, let everyone in for free and make it nickel beer night.
And there's a lot of Minnesotans that live in Arizona in the wintertime, so that could end up being a very pro-Minnesota crowd.
The Vikings sent out a tweet in support of the Rams and their fans. We're thinking of our Rams friends, their community, and the first responders during this time. It's horrible. Last night's game between the L.A. Kings and Calgary Flames was postponed because of the fires.
Well, and that's one of the things, too, Nick, because when you have something like this happening in L.A., in order for you to have enough first responders to be at a sporting event, I mean, that's where you kind of have to draw the line, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't spare the people to be at a sporting event when your city is on fire. Mm-hmm. So that's probably going to be the overriding reason why. It's not that the stadium is in harm's way. I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is, do they have enough support staff and first responders to be able to man the football game to protect everybody?
Exactly.
That's going to be the question.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Also, Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers has reportedly stepped away from the ball club to be with members of his family who have been affected by the wildfire. Some of Leonard's family was forced to evacuate their damn homes.
Yeah.
And so Kawhi is going to help them out in one way or another. So wouldn't that be just horrible? I mean, Josh, let's go back to your sister real quick. And I'm not trying to be cute with that. There's a chance that in a day, two, maybe a week's time, their property is dust.
Yeah, could be. She said it looks like Armageddon there.
How long has she been living there?
Oh gosh, I don't know, a decade or more.
Yeah, God help us all.
Probably more.
I mean, that last real keeper hurricane that swept through Louisiana, Alabama down there. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say it was the last one because it happens all the time down there. The biggest, fattest one.
Well, the one that wiped out Asheville in North Carolina.
Well, that destroyed one of my best friend's children's home, completely gone.
Yeah.
But this was like 10 years ago or more. A big hurricane came through Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, and it completely, a place that I spent, a few trips. How does a grown person say this? A place that I used to spend time in years ago when I was married, my first marriage. That particular place got sucked right out into the ocean, never to be seen again. Luckily, everyone got the hell out of there, but terrible thing. For the second time in his career, it says right here, if this means anything to you, Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson earned a spot on the Players All-Pro team. Only active players vote on that team. Players may not vote for themselves or their teammates. DePaula got boned on this one. DePaula didn't make the Players All-Pro team. They voted for some dude who long snaps in Jacksonville, Florida.
Whoever that guy is.
But Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, but they only named one. This is the NFC AFC total team, right? It's not the NFC version and the AFC. This is the two combined.
Right.
So there's only one spot.
Right. That is right. So there you go with that.
How many Vikings made that?
I think just Jefferson, yeah. Just him.
Wow.
So the players in the NFL don't have as high of an opinion of them as we do, I guess.
So Grenard or Van...
how do you say
Winkle or whatever his name is.
Rip Van Winkle?
Didn't make it.
Van Ginkel did not make it.
You're officially elderly.
So those? Okay. All right.
No, they didn't make it. Van Winkle, Dinkle.
Those two guys are starters in the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Outside linebacker.
They think they're starters.
Nick says they're not going to be playing, though. They'll be too busy with their Super Bowl activities.
Yeah, that's what Nick says.
Yeah, they're not going to be playing in that stupid playing cornhole at the Pro Bowl. They'll be ready for the actual Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers of the National Football League, they went ahead and fired 3 of their defensive coaches. Nobody was surprised by this, I guess, because this season the Panthers gave up the most points in NFL history. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
They gave up more points than any club ever.
And they actually played better the second half of the season. Once they brought the young quarterback back after they benched him, they actually played better down the stretch.
Did they do better?
They did. Adam Thielen actually was a big part of it.
Well, that's great. Yeah, I read that recently, that quarterback came back from nowhere. So
Bryce Young played much better.
What was his name?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Much better. Yeah.
So the Panthers allowed 534 points. That's the most, well, at least in a 17-game season.
Yeah, 17, I was just going to say. Yeah, that makes a difference.
It's a little more impressive to hear this. They allowed 31.4 points per game. That's a lot of points on the board.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Son of a... All right, now back to the Vikings. Here's something that most folks either love to hear about or they absolutely hate it. Viking safety Cameron Bynum is preparing to introduce a new dance during the playoffs.
Yes.
I gotta hope he has the opportunity to.
True.
I mean, that's the problem with talking about it and hyping it up is...
Yeah.
Or you can dance anytime you want in the playoffs.
They're shaking hands. The LA's celebrating. He's just crying and dancing by himself.
Traditionally, they've had these organized dances when they intercept the football or score a touchdown. But you really, if you want to, Josh, I think it's in the rules. You can dance anytime you want during.
Sure, have fun.
He's the one who leads all these celebration dances, which honestly, to me personally, I've had enough of the gimmick. But I know a lot of people love it.
You know what I think about when I think about this stuff is the guy sitting there at EA Sports who has to, for the Madden game, follow all the dance routines of all the players to make sure that he gets them accurately in the game.
Good point. That is fun when they throw those in.
When they have all these stupid dances, is that poor smuck at EA Sports is going, oh, God, I got to get this other dance right. For next year's game. It's just like ridiculous.
Due to the age difference, I don't recognize most. I have to wait until somebody writes about it, or if my wife's watching with me, she'll say, "Oh, that's from this movie or that movie."
Yeah,
Gosh, that annoys me too. I'm like, can you do some mixing some more 80s and 90s references, please?
Yes, it's right in my wheelhouse. It's perfect for me.
Minnesota Moses has reminded us that if you don't dance and your friends don't dance, then you're no friends of mine.
Good thing to keep in mind.
S S S S A F F F F. I'm out of wind, Josh. You take it. E T T T Y. So Bynum is the guy that organizes all these silly dances for the Vikings. And this year, oh my God, he's earned the respect of not only Lindsay Lohan, because he copied one of her dances from a movie called The Parent Trap, but the Wayans family, specifically Marlon Wayans, gave him credit for emulating a move from the movie White Chicks. Now, Cameron Bynum is taking things up a notch, according to what I'm reading, in preparing for the playoffs and specifically dancing in the playoffs. He's taking breakdancing lessons, from what I understand, at a joint called the House of Dance Twin Cities in Edina. Recently, he was spotted breakdancing. He's trying to learn something, Randy Shaver. I know you're a big breakdancing fan, especially Olympic breakdancing. Cameron Bynum is trying to learn something, Josh, called the windmill routine.
It sounds tough.
Oh, sweet.
You're familiar?
Yes. It's like the...
Let's demonstrate it.
Yeah, no. It's like one of the classic.
Well, that's when you get back spinning so fast that you just... Right. Okay,
that is a cool move.
I'm a kid of the 80s. I know a thing or two about breakdancing. So he's planning to bust this up.
Won't he need a piece of cardboard in order to pull that off?
Oh, that'll get you a fine.
Yeah, that would.
No props.
You can't have props.
So how do you do that?
He's going to have to do his best. He's going to tear all of his back hair out. I don't know. He's going
to mess up the turf.
Oh, what if he hurts himself?
It is funny and almost endearing how seriously he takes this stuff.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, I like watching his practice videos.
Yeah, those
of
are
him
a good
and the
time.
other team members.
Yep.
And he's talked about it, too. He has ambitions of getting on some of those Dancing with the Stars and things like that, those types of shows.
Oh, I think we played a clip of him mentioning that. Yeah, that's his goal. He wants to be on something like that.
So he's been working out with a dude named Riley who owns this dance shop. Randy Shaver, the House of Dance Twin Cities. They offer classes in hip-hop and breaking. Okay, in case you and the wife ever...
Date night.
You need a hobby.
Yeah.
And so this guy's helping Bynum out with his dancing. This Riley guy's been breaking for 20 years. He first started while at Park Center High School. As a dancer, this Riley guy has accomplished some great things. He toured with Vanilla Ice. And if Brad Ryder was on the line right now, Brad would say, I saw that concert in 1990 at Met Center.
It's so what?
This guy performed with Justin Timberlake during the halftime show of the Super Bowl here when it was in town. And I've seen these folks in person, and I think they're great. This Riley guy choreographs for the Timberwolves' First Avenue Breakers.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
I've gone to many Timberwolves games.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
sure.
where during a timeout, the First Avenue Breakers show up.
Yeah.
And they kick ass. There's always one who's only 2 years old. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then there's another guy in the mix who's 62. You know, and so they got... Good for Cameron Bynum. I'm not a fan of this kind of garbage, I say, when you get an interception. Go back to the friggin' sideline. Quit with the dance. I'm tired of it. But I know a lot of people love it, and he's dialed into it. It makes him happy. Knock yourself out. What's your move, Randy Shaver? Like, say, you know, the wife drags you out. It's a family member's wedding reception. You got to get involved.
Oh, God. I don't have any moves anymore.
What?
There's no moves.
He does a sprinkler.
My buddy Curtis just does the pogo stick.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like to paw the corners, and then sometimes I do the John Cena "you can't see me" thing.
That's a good
Paw
one.
the corners.
Yeah.
How do you just show us that move again? Oh, pawing. Yeah,
Gotta
like
get
you're
this
like
corner,
a cat.
this corner.
Cat pawing.
So you put that all together.
Yep. Yeah, I have always told people that I dance like a middle-aged divorced man.
Pogo stick. Is there a song that would drag you out there, Randy Shaver? In a lot of situations,
It would have to be a slow song.
slow song.
Yeah.
I hear you on that.
Otherwise, I look like Elaine from Seinfeld. So.
Oh, boy. That's a dance.
All right, Winnipeg. Let's get back to. I got a little hockey side note here for you. Winnipeg Jets defenseman Colin Miller will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks due to a fractured larynx.
Ouch.
Ouch. You get hit by a puck?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know you could fracture that.
Oh. Saturday night's game. The Jets were playing the Detroit Red Wings. He took a puck to the throat.
God, that's brutal.
They say he's doing all right. Yeah, that would hurt. And, you're at risk to have...
Didn't a Wild player get hit in the neck? Didn't we talk about this?
I can't remember.
I thought there was a Wild player that got...
Well, there was the nuts.
Are you thinking of Zuccarello's beanbag?
Yeah, he got hit there.
No, I wasn't
Faber
thinking
got
of
hit in the
that.
face.
Faber took one.
That's what we're talking about. Yes.
He took one right in the mush.
Yes, in the mush. Yes.
But the threat there is, you swell up if you take one to the throat pipe. You swell up, you cut off that. It always makes me think of Chris Pronger, who got hit in the chest by a slap shot many years ago, and his heart stopped.
Yeah.
And then it came back, and then it started beating again. And they gave him some Gatorade and said, "We're on the power play. Get out there."
What are you doing on the bench still?
Yeah, friggin' heart stopped when a slap shot hit him in the chest. Next thing you know, he's handling the puck out there on the PP. You don't want to take a puck to the throat. Did you guys see the pictures? Oh God, this is terrible. Former NBA player, played for a brief period of time here with the Timberwolves. Played for a lot of different teams. I believe he came out of UCLA, Randy Shaver. Ryan Hollins. Do you remember the name, Ryan Hollins?
I do.
I don't think I do.
Boy, he embarrassed himself on television here recently. People are saying he pulled a Carlos Boozer. And if you're a little younger, you might not get the reference. Ryan Hollins put a little too much spray paint on his hairline. And he's done this a few times. He's one of these guys that's really struggling with the hair falling out. And I've seen this outside of sports a few times. There's some kind of product, just some kind of spray. You spray on your head.
Right. Kind of cover up the bald spot?
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah. I mean, so anyway, Hollins recently, he does television analysts. How do you say that, Josh?
Analysis?
Analysis is the word. He does that for the Houston Rockets. He was on TV the other night. He had a little too much shoe polish and spray paint on top of his bald head, and everyone said, "Oh, God, it's another Carlos Boozer." Carlos Boozer, when he was playing for the Utah Jazz or the Bulls or whoever he was playing for at the time, he took that spray painting your skull thing, to a level that no one has seen.
My gosh.
Are you looking at it right now?
I thought you posted that. Didn't you?
I didn't see the Carlos Boozer hair, but I did post the new guy we're talking about. Yes.
Are you familiar with Plastidip?
Yes.
Okay, it looks like Plastidip more than anything.
You Plastidiped the rims on my my pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the same on my vehicle.
Yeah. I mean, it just looks so terrible. How do you check yourself out in the mirror? Or why wasn't there a producer before Ryan Hollins went live on television that told him, "Dude, you got to go in the bathroom and wash that off the top of your head"? It's horrible.
It's not subtle at all.
I can't get over this Carlos Boozer guy.
He must have been insane.
What is happening
Because
here?
it was so bad.
It looks like somebody just took a Sharpie.
Yes. Some guys, really battle with it because you got to be desperate, I think, to try something like that. So if you're a younger person, look up Carlos Boozer on the internet. You'll find those pictures of him.
It's like the first internet search when you start typing Carlos Boozer.
Yeah,
it's a damn shame because he was a good player, but all anyone remembers is that he would shoe polish his skull before ball games, and there were times when he, of course, obviously he would begin to sweat, and that stuff would be running down his face. It looked like he was melting. Look up Carlos Boozer. Look up this Ryan Hollins. Randy Shaver being in the television business as long as you were, and all the cliche hair jokes, ha. But did you ever, you don't have to name any names, did you ever work with a guy who sprayed the hair on beforehand.
Okay, so not sprayed the hair on, but I did. I had an intern who was going to do an audition tape, okay?
Yeah.
And he was a guy that had lost quite a bit of hair. Young guy, too, okay? Like 20, 22, 21 years old, right?
Right.
And so he was going to do the audition tape, and we were all set up in the studio, and where is he? And so I walked back in the makeup room, and his hair is sitting on one of those model heads.
Oh, no.
He had like a toupee. And he was going to I was like, oh, my God, it looked like a bird's nest sitting on in the corner of the room.
Do they make...
That's as close as I've gotten to seeing someone, like, spray something or do something dramatic with their hair. And I didn't stick around to watch him put it on because I just like trying not to die laughing. So I didn't want to embarrass him. But, I mean, it looked good when he got it all situated. But when it was sitting on the, whatever that is.
Like a mannequin head.
That's funny.
The mannequin head, yeah, that was weird.
So he pulled that rug over the top of his skull, and then he cut his audition tape.
Yeah, and he actually got a job. Yeah.
Not here. He got a job somewhere else?
No, not here.
Yeah.
But he got a job, but I don't think he lasted very long in the business. But, yeah, that's as close as and I didn't realize that's what he was going to do. I didn't know that that's what he wanted to do.
Man.
Because he didn't wear it, like, as an intern necessarily. So... Yeah.
We were, of course, talking about Carlos Boozer and his spray-on hairdo from all those years ago. Hey, Josh, you know who you would be? If you were named Carlos, you wouldn't be Carlos Boozer.
Who would I be?
You'd be Carlos Club Soda.
Or Shirley Temple.
According to one of our listeners, you'd be Carlos Club Soda. I know we're a long ways away from caring about baseball again, but here's what I read the other day.
We're not that long away.
Well, what will be a month or a little over a month away from spring training?
Isn't
it always around Valentine's Day?
Pitchers and catchers report usually mid-February. Yeah.
Here's what I read yesterday. If this does anything for you, the Twins' ownership is getting closer to selling the team, and they could be sold in full by opening day. I had heard, I think we had all heard that it was going to be a much longer process than that, and it still might be, but the story I heard. So there you go.
Wow.
Could be sold.
No more details than that, though?
The only other details I have in here in front of me, it says it could be sold, the Twins could be sold in full by opening day to the McMahon family.
Oh, no.
That's incorrect.
Oh, boy.
Vince, Linda, Shano.
I was just gonna ask if it was a local group, but I guess not.
There was the guy that owns the Suns, or a partial owner of the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, is that guy?
Yeah,
two
really?
brothers.
They got a funny name. What's the name?
Ishiba? Yeah.
Ishiba.
Yeah.
He was one of the ones. They said there's plenty of people involved, but they only named a couple. So there's a few different people that are interested.
The billion-dollar princess, Stephanie McMahon, Helmsley, Levesque.
Is Triple H going to be there, too?
He'll come by.
He'll be the bench coach.
He'll have a say in it. So, yeah, the Twins. I don't know. We'll see if it happens. And I'll tell you, I mean, whoever does end up owning the Twins, boy, they're going to be heroes around here for a while.
Yeah.
I wonder, I just throw this out there, just because I'm thinking about it right now. If that group buys the Twins, do you think that, because he's a Midwest guy, he's from Michigan, do you think that he would sell the Phoenix Suns if the Timberwolves, if Glenn Taylor decided to, at some point, sell the team, not to, once they resolve the arbitration issues between, Rodriguez and Lohr and Taylor, and if Taylor still owns the team, That would make a lot of sense, right?
So the guy would buy the Twins and the Timberwolves.
Correct. One guy owns both clubs. And then, like I said, he's a Midwest guy, too. So it's not like he's not used to living in, this climate.
He has he has lived in Michigan. Good question.
He played basketball for Michigan State.
Oh, that sucks. And take that, medical advice, Jesus. Is that common for...
That's what I was wondering.
Is that common for any individual or group to own more than one franchise? I don't follow these things. And how in the year 20 and 25 do you have the money to even consider such a thing?
Well, the guy's a multi-billionaire.
How do you get there? How do you get to multi-billionaire?
You probably have a real good start, right?
Real good start.
I don't know anything about him, but
I think he worked through the mortgage business. I think I saw a piece on him a while back. I want to say in HBO Sports about how he made all his money, but he was a backup basketball player at Michigan State.
Okay.
And he credits the coach there for all of his, I guess, just kind of his background and how he looks at life and how he treats people and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
People are saying he's a great owner. We're getting
great owner.
Well, there's two of them. There's Matt. He's the younger brother that purchased his sons in December.
And Jeff.
Too. And Justin.
The Hardy Boys?
I thought it was. I was back on the WWE there. Matt and Justin.
That would be all. Yeah, Matt and Justin. Justin's the older brother, and he would be the lead investor in the Twins. So it looks like they'd be two separate entities. Not one guy buying both.
Then you always got to consider the Dudleys, Devon, and Bubba Ray and Spike.
It looks like there's a guy, Stanley Kroenke.
Kroenke.
So he owns the Rams.
Raminant.
He owns the Denver Nuggets. He owns the Colorado Avalanche the Colorado Rapids soccer team.
Oh, God, the money.
And I own one pair of jeans.
Yeah. $19.6 billion.
You own a lot of jorts, though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm rich in jorts.
You own Matt in 2024.
Yeah. A couple of listeners have texted in and said, hell, if a guy comes to town or a group comes to town and owns not only the Timberwolves but the Phoenix Suns, can the rosters cross over? Can Kevin Durant start at first base for the Twins or something like that? Randy, we got to get going again, okay?
Okay.
We got to get going, and tomorrow will be our final, and we'll have nothing but laughs. You and Brad can join us, and we'll go completely mental. Is that fair enough?
Sounds good.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Randy
it.
Shaver. Okay, get on the telephone. Text machine, I should say, 651-989-9393. If you're a pet owner, we have a professional veterinarian coming in studio, an old pal of ours at this point, Dr. Andrea Johnston. If you have a concern or a question about your pet, text that question to us right now, 651-989-9393. Dr. Andrea is coming up next on the program.
There's a douchiness to them. The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hi, I'm Joe Saul-Sehy, host of the Stacking Benjamins podcast. Every week, we talk to experts about saving, investing, and personal finance trends. Oh, crypto. Can't do it.
You could have done all that research, all the breadcrumbs, and thought this company's never going bankrupt.
foiled again. You never knew personal finance could be this fun. Throwing down the gauntlet.
I'm bringing it today. I'm only going to be off by 6 figures instead of 7.
Every boy has a dream, Doc. Every boy has a dream.
For sure.
Stacking Benjamins. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
You guys smell that? It smells bad out here, too. I'm starting to think this whole town smells like doo-doo.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
All right, welcome back to the show. It's 8:23. Pet owners, if there's something going on with your beloved dog or cat and you'd like to ask a professional, text us at the number 651-989-9393. Our next guest in studio, Dr. Andrea Johnston from German Animal Hospital. She's happy to help you out. Hello again, Dr. Andrea.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
We're good. How have you been?
Good. Not really rested after the break, but,
Did you blow the doors off the joint on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, right. 10, 11-year-old sleepover. That was fun.
My damn, you had 10, 11-year-olds sleeping at your house.
Yeah.
So you were just, you couldn't wait to go to bed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I heard him running around about 3 a.m.
No. Pretend you didn't hear it.
Exactly.
That's the life.
That's something else, right? When you got kids that age and all their friends sleep over, it gets pretty insane.
It really does.
So how, a big holiday, a couple of them. Do you guys end up treating a lot of animals that ate everything on the dining room table?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a lot of I actually did a surgery last week on a cat that ate the pedicure pad. Those things you put between your toes to keep your toes dry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no.
Yeah. It ate half of it, so I had to go in and remove that surgically. But, yeah, a lot of getting into the garbage, getting into chocolate, all those things.
One of my dogs ate a ping pong paddle and a pencil.
Wow.
Relatively.
Been crapping pancakes ever since.
Yeah.
What movie? Beer Fest. That sounds very dangerous, Josh.
Well, yeah.
Specifically the pencil.
I'm doing you meant for the dog.
For the dog.
Yeah.
Specifically the pencil.
Yeah. You chewed that thing up pretty good.
You know what else we see is a lot of Christmas ornaments with the hook on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they'll eat the bulbs right off the damn tree, some of those friggin' dogs. Well, we're happy to have you back, Dr. Andrea. We got all kinds of questions here for you. Selfishly, I would like to start, and this was something we discussed hours before you got here. I wanted to ask you a question about my Yorkie, Gertie, who you have outright said is the cutest dog that you've ever seen.
Yes.
And she is that damn cute. Gertie, my wife and I notice, like a lot of dogs, she picks up her toys and then shakes the living hell out of it, right? That's that old instinct, like killing their prey, right? Is that where that comes from?
Yeah.
And, of course, I've seen many dogs over my lifetime do this.
Yeah.
When Gertie does it, it is so violent, so furious, and so fast and so violent that the wife and I have sat there and watched her do it and wondered, is there a chance she could hurt herself or cause herself some kind of brain damage from the... It's unbelievable how wicked it can get.
Well, and you think about her breed, right? She's a terrier.
Yorkie.
Or York. Well, yeah, Yorkie Terrier.
Okay, I didn't know.
Terrier.
Yeah, you're the expert.
Terriers are rodent catchers, right? So they bury in holes and try and get them in walls and things like that. So that's probably the way they kill them, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's kind of her playful way of...
I don't know how the head doesn't just come off.
Can I borrow her if she's killing rodents? We got an infestation right now. I could use her.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
Yeah.
It's a concerning thing. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't worry.
I wouldn't worry about it.
All right.
Yeah.
How do you check for a dog being pregnant? This person wants to know.
Yeah. So just like people, well, there's no pregnancy test really, but they usually come in about 30 days, and we do an ultrasound to check for fetal heartbeat. And then around 40 days, you can take x-rays and count the skulls to determine how many puppies are in there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's fun. And then it's always like a guess, like when they come out, how many were there? Were we right when we counted them on x-ray?
It's fun. You get a little money trading hands. Yeah.
Are there
skull counting?
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah.
Any particular breed that's known for having the bigger litter?
Actually labs and things like that tend to have pretty big litters. It's the ones we've talked about, Frenchies, bulldogs. They just can't hold a big litter.
What's the most you've ever seen in a litter?
12, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a pile.
Oh, that's tough.
That's a pile. It's a
That's
dozen.
a pile right there.
Sounds exhausting.
I know.
Is this a true fact, Dr. Andrea? A listener texted in earlier. We were actually talking about deaf and blind dogs. I was actually telling an old story about a friend of mine whose dog had no eyes.
Yeah.
The eyes were removed and they were sewed shut. It was still a happy, lovely little critter. Anyway, is this true? A listener says most Dalmatian dogs are born and become deaf within a few weeks. It's a genetic disorder?
Yeah, it's a genetic trait.
Is that right?
Yeah, they can be born deaf. They try and breed it out of the line, but yes, that is possible.
Wow, I'd never heard that before.
There's...
And obviously neither of the dogs.
Well, and same thing with white boxers, you know.
White boxers?
That was funny.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
White boxers.
They're born deaf or they become deaf at a young age?
Usually the white boxers are born deaf.
Wow.
It's a genetic connection between the hair code and the hearing.
Fascinating.
Ramtucky Sheezus has a flat-faced cat. Is it Selkirk Rex? Does that sound? Am I maybe
very exotic?
Okay.
Yeah.
Infection in one eye, brown gunk, squinting. Been cleaning it with warm water and putting in eye gel that she got at the pet store. It's getting a little better, but she wants to know: is it because his face is shaped wrong?
Well, you know, if there's
You've got a wrong shaped face.
Is this is like the grumpy cat that went viral?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's possible there could be a scratch in the eye. If there's like excessive folds near that eye and hair could be rubbing on that eye, causing the squinting. Cats also get upper respiratory infections that can be viral, and they can get corneal ulcers from that too. I'd get that checked out.
I like those flat-faced, pissed-off-looking cats.
Yeah,
I think it's pretty cute.
They're cute, aren't they?
Cat facial expressions can be very interesting.
Cute.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Andrea, a question has come in from Red Ram Monster Truck Jesus. It's one that you've heard before, but there's a specific question in here. Dog has one ear with dark discharge. Springer Spaniel, one ear with dark discharge. They've used the ear drops. The question is, the powder that's advertised online for yeast treatment in a dog's guts, will that work in the dog's ear?
No, you got to treat it topically.
Okay.
Especially if it's an external ear infection, you got to treat it topically.
Okay.
So it won't work.
All right.
No, I would get like a cleaner with some type of antifungal, like ketoconazole in it. I would try that.
All right, fair enough. There you go, Red Ram, whatever the hell.
I know you answer this question every week, but we get it so often. Maybe you could get the info out there if you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's the paws smelling like corn chips. Someone said one dog had it, now both dogs have it. And they both have, I don't even know how to pronounce this, some sort of shot. CERICYTAL shot.
Say it again.
CERICYTAL shot. You're not familiar either?
No, unless it's Cytopoint, which is an allergy shot. That's my guess.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
So, and I'm looking like 4 saying, should I be concerned?
No. I mean, it's just yeast in the paws. Nothing I'm worried about.
Okay. So it's good.
Yeah, it's nothing bad. As long as there's not inflammation or infection or dark debris there, you're fine.
I love that smell.
So, right?
Puppy paws.
Yeah.
Here we are. It's been cold as hell lately. It's probably only going to get worse before winter's over. There are a number of different dogs who really love the cold. Huskies, or is that just a myth? Huskies love the cold. Bernese mountain dogs love the cold.
Newfoundlands. Yep, all those breeds.
Here is a texter, a listener, who's specifically asking about their Bernese mountain dog. Loves it outside, but can the dogs be doing themselves in some situations more harm than good? It's 8 degrees outside, the guy says. How long can this dog actually handle being outside in that weather before I need to bring him in? Are there cases where the dogs don't know?
No, they'll self-regulate. I mean, if they're cold, they'll come in.
Okay.
But they have that heavy hair coat, that dual hair coat. You know, they have that upper one and the lower one that will keep them warm.
So there are no dogs dumb enough to just sit out there until they're okay.
I've always had that question.
No,
are
they'll
they
go
dumb enough?
inside.
Yeah.
No.
They just they know how to take care of them their damn self. Okay, fair enough.
Hot Mom Sheezus adopted a fat cat, 25 pounds, knowing there'd be a weight loss journey, she said. How fast or slow should I expect her to lose weight now that we're on a kitty diet?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it too quickly because it can develop fatty liver disease. So I would say no more than half a pound to a pound a week. And honestly, you should probably see an ideal weight closer to 3 to 6 months from starting the weight loss.
What is an ideal weight? for?
It depends on the cat, but I mean, on average, 10 to 12 pounds. But I've never met a 25-pound cat that should be 25 pounds.
I bet it looks really cute, though.
Oh, God. Just a bowling ball.
Yeah. Waddles around.
I kind of like the true or false questions here with Dr. Andrea. The number again is 651-989-9393 if you have a question about your pet. True or false, does my dog feel the need to face north when taking a poop?
False.
False. Well, Bering Sea Jesus says his dog faces north whenever.
Wow. Is it true that
I have no sense of direction. I wouldn't be able to tell one way or the other.
if they're in the middle of doing their business and they like stare at you, is that because I've heard that that's because they like want you to protect them? I guess.
Yeah, I think they're in a vulnerable position. No.
What if they wink at you?
Lick their lips a little bit.
Or just kind of give you a head nod like, come on over.
That's weird. But yeah, they're kind of like, are you watching me? Is there something on my backside that I can't see right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're looking to you kind of like,
is this normal? What's going on?
well, you know, be there for me. You're there for me, right? That's why they...
You got my back, bro?
Yeah, exactly.
Mohawk Mechanic Jesus has a large breed dog, 80 pounds, 11-year-old, bone cancer in the front leg. So he wants to know, amputation, chemo, or comforting?
Ooh, bone cancer is pretty aggressive, unfortunately. And when it's in a front leg, it's hard to amputate a front leg in an 80-pound dog because they bear more weight on their front legs than their back legs. So mobility-wise, they just don't do well with amputation. Chemotherapy would be palliative because usually that cancer is super aggressive and already spread. That I would consider pain management. Yeah.
It's a sad deal. All right.
That's tough.
Josh over here is very techie guy. Josh is certainly the techie guy on this program. Are you into new technology? Do you have the fancy schmancy this and that?
I mean, kind of. My husband works in tech, but he's more aware than I am with that stuff.
What about some of the new technology for pets? I was just going through an article about an electronic dog door. It's called the Paw Port. You install a doggy door in your house. You put an electronic sensor in your dog's collar. When your dog gets close to the door, it'll open up. And then, according to the story, seal tightly behind them so no other critters or rainwater can get in. Your dog is free to come and go as it pleases. Can you friggin' believe that?
I mean, it's kind of like the modern day dog door, right?
Yeah.
That people have in their house.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. I have one, or I'm looking at one for my chickens, because it can like open and close at the nighttime. So.
Yeah, I mean, if it really honestly will seal tight every time, that sounds cool, but I don't know if I trust that. And next thing you know, I've got every derelict animal in the neighborhood in my home. Or raccoons and things like that.
Or a creepy neighbor wearing the dog collar just walking right in.
Yeah, how big is that door? I don't want my neighbor. What else is in here? I mean, that sounds really cool if it works every time. Because I've heard a couple horror stories about those doggy doors letting in critters you do not want in your den. What do we have here? There's some new tech on pet fashion. What do you think about a dog wearing a smart collar with built-in GPS, a heart rate monitor, an LED display? My goodness.
Yeah, I have a couple clients that use those. They're not cheap, but they will tell me the average amount of steps or miles the dog takes on a daily basis.
Oh,
They're counting the steps?
Yeah.
I'd be fascinated to know that information.
It's actually, you would not believe, especially some of these dogs that live out west on big property, the amount of miles they run on a daily basis.
And good for them.
We thought about getting one of those, the GPS collars, but the subscriptions are kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Couldn't you just put an Apple AirTag on them?
Just get an AirTag and glue it on the collar.
Yeah, we thought about that too. I've heard good and bad about that.
Yeah, I always feel bad. My dog has one, and then we go out of town, and it's like, you left your dog. You're in Mexico.
Yeah.
You left your dog.
You're like, oh, no.
Shame
I
on
hope
you.
the dog's not thinking that, too.
How about this now? And then we can wrap up our conversation on the new technology for your pets. Get back to some questions. Maybe this this obviously I think is a statement on my overall personal health, but I get a little tired playing catch with the dog. I get tired. Well, nowadays it seems as if there's some new techie toys out there where the damn ball will play catch with your dog all by itself.
Oh, we're just getting lazier and lazier.
Yeah. There's toys that can mimic a game of fetch.
I've seen those. Those are pretty sweet.
What are you talking? How does it?
Oh, really?
Explain it to me.
Yeah. Well, the dog has to have some training to be able to do it because what I've seen is.
Oh, does it like hit a button with its nose and then it launches a ball? Or?
I've seen one where it's maybe as big as a dog bowl, sits on the ground, and the dog, once they drop the tennis ball into the hole on it, it will sense it and just pop it up in the air for it. Usually, I've always seen golden retrievers using those because those dogs are such high energy.
I get winded playing catch after a while.
I've got this contraption for my cat, Minnow, and it's got lasers on both sides, and you hit a button, and it kind of scans the room, and then it'll just kind of go nuts, and then she just chases it everywhere.
Yeah, cat lasers are awesome.
Oh, yeah, those are
25-pound cats.
I've seen those. Yeah, the automatic laser.
Yeah.
They go out of their mind.
Yeah, it's super funny watching her.
Talking about this tech stuff made me think of, have you ever seen those videos of dogs that are trained to hit certain buttons and like talk back? Is there any like truth behind that?
What do you mean talk back?
To communicate?
Yeah, so they'll set up the buttons to mean like walk or sit or whatever it is, or treat. And it seems like the dog knows what it's doing. Is that true?
Yeah, I think there's some truth to it. I mean, if you train the dog, it's like Pavlovian, right? You know, for sure. I think as long as the dog understands the link between hitting this button twice, I get to go outside, or hitting this button once.
Oh, yeah.
If that's how it is. I'm not sure how it works, but
it's so cool.
Is there a new owner button? The dog. How depressed would you be?
How sad be out of here?
My dog would just be a roast. Different insults.
Oh,
hit on that thing.
I've seen people do that and wire it that way so they can say, I hate you. I hate you.
We got Dr. Andrea Johnston here in studio from German Animal Hospital. We got time for a couple more questions before we take a break. Now, I have a cat, says a listener, that gets... We didn't cover this already. No, I don't think we did. I have a cat that gets Silencia injections. Mm-hmm. Okay. Any tips for reducing the skin irritation? I hate to stop the shots because overall her quality of life has improved.
Yeah. So Silencia is a new injection, monthly injection for cats with arthritis. So it actually targets, a monoclonal antibody targets inflammatory mediators in arthritis, and they feel better. That is one of the side effects, unfortunately. So I would consider maybe moving or making sure you're migrating where that injection's given. But that is a side effect of the shot. You got to weigh the pros and cons, unfortunately.
Sure.
Yeah.
This person has a 5-year-old lab losing hair on its chest. Would fish oil help, or any tips you got?
Yeah. I mean, as long as the dog's not itchy, fish oils do work really well, like omega-3s. I'd get that dog's thyroid checked, too.
Get him one of those man trimmers. What the hell is the name of that product again?
Manscaped?
Manscaper, yeah.
The Lawnmower 5.0?
Yeah, right. Oh, no, a poodle with a bump next to its anus, Dr. Andrea. It's gotten bigger in the 4 months. It's gotten bigger in 4 months. It's now the size of a nickel. That doesn't sound good.
That doesn't. I'd get anal glands checked out, but I'd also worry about a perianal gland tumor. Yeah, I'd get that looked at.
That doesn't sound like...
Sampled.
Yeah, get a sample.
Yep.
Pass it around the room. See what everybody thinks of it. Can I ask you what my wife... I'm under orders from the wife to ask you one more question about our dog, Gertie.
Of course.
How many CET Hextra chews can she have a day? The wife says it's the only way I can keep her occupied when I'm on conference calls. CET Hextra chews. She really likes them, Dr. Andrea.
Oh, I'm so glad.
And we thank you for that.
Yeah. I mean, they're calories, right? So just make sure she's not getting too chubby on them. But
she's in great shape.
I mean, if you read the bag, it says like 1 to 2 a week. Or a day, excuse me. But I say 1 to 2 a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
They can get pretty big. They can get 10 foot, 150 plus pounds, and they are a predator.
On 93X.
All right, Dr. Andrea, you are officially the most popular woman in the world.
No question there. If you're going to base that on text message, you can't make an argument against it.
Oh, God, yeah.
It is so funny, though, because we have Dr. P on, and do you have any questions about your own health? No, I don't know, maybe. Or the dog. Just lightning fire.
Loves their animals.
You said Dr. P on. That's all I heard.
Maybe I was subconsciously trying to say something.
We're wrapping up our conversation today with veterinarian Dr. Andrea Johnston from Gurman Animal Hospital. 651-989-9393 is the number if you have a question. But I would not encourage you to text now because we got so many in front of us now. We only got 8-9 minutes to play with. But again, thanks for coming in, Dr. Andrea. Everyone wants to know what's going on with their pet. Some great questions, interesting questions. Are there new treatments to try and extend the lives of larger dogs? We all know that it seems, at least more often than not, the little dogs live longer than the big dogs. Is there anything going on, any studies being done for the bigger dogs?
Well, there's always studies being done, especially on cancer and genetics and golden retrievers and other large breeds. I would say the biggest factor for longevity in your dog is weight. Keeping your dog lean, because we just see so many overweight dogs. Yeah. It's crazy. And then they get arthritic and they can't get up and they can't move around, and certainly that affects their quality of life.
Yeah, it's difficult because your dog is this happy sumbitch when you give him a block of cheese, isn't he?
Yeah, cheese tax.
Yeah, it's difficult. You have to have some self-control. But sure, okay, weight is the number one factor. I got you.
Yep.
Here's a cat around 3 years old who often has seizure-like episodes. Lays down, lasts a couple minutes. The vet said that the cat might have heart problems. He actually has an appointment tomorrow, but he's wondering if you have any ideas what it might be.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, if it's seizure-like, it could be epilepsy or idiopathic epilepsy, which is unknown cause of seizures. But if there's a heart issue, if there's a murmur, I would worry that they're more like collapsing episodes. Mm-hmm. So I'd get an echocardiogram and a chest x-ray on that kitty. And a pro-BNP, which is a blood test.
A little blood test for the kitty. You ever heard of Springer syndrome?
Springer rage, is that it?
I think that's where they're going with this.
Yeah.
I can speak directly about this, too. A listener texted in about Springer syndrome is what they call it. Our Springer has become very aggressive towards the males in our family. It didn't start until the dog was about 2 years old.
Yeah.
We had a male Springer, and we did not neuter the dog, which, in my opinion, was our first mistake, because after a couple years, that dog, Smooth, hated my brother and I. Hated us and protected our mother. This is when we were teenage kids. Protected our mother like we were complete strangers.
So it's actually, and I don't know, I need to look this up again, but someone long time ago told me that this Springer rage is genetic, and it links back to like one male dog many years ago. That unfortunately was a genetic, condition that's being passed down, where these dogs just snap.
It was a real thing.
It's dangerous. I mean, they just all of a sudden snap.
Oh, my brother and I once had to, in order to control this dog, we entered a room. We put the dog in. It was so mad at us just for existing anywhere near our mother. We put it in a room, shut the door, and when we walked back into the room, we had to put on our hockey gloves in order to deal with this dog. It would only answer to our mother, and it was out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a liability, and watch out if you have kids out.
Scared the hell out of us.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
This person has a Labradoodle with a lot of skin tags. What's the best way to remove them?
Well, you can surgically have them removed. The other thing you can do is there's a cryo pen where you can freeze them off. Like you'd go to your dermatologist and they'd freeze them off over time and they fall off. That's the least invasive way, but a lot of times it won't work for the bigger ones.
I worked on air with a guy years ago who had a lot of skin tags.
Oh, I remember that. And sometimes like his necklace would hang up in a...
Oh my gosh, no.
It would like form a coiled snake of some sort.
Cubby knew the guy.
Oh yeah.
He had this. He had his neck was covered in skin tags, but he insisted on doing his Denny Terrio imitation every day and wearing some. Maybe that's a lost. John Travolta from Saturday Night. He always had a gold necklace, and it would get hung up and.
Wow. A couple years ago, I removed one off my brother-in-law's head on Christmas Eve because he was bugging him. I'm like, let's do this.
On Christmas Eve.
You have the skill set for it, obviously.
It's the same thing. I mean,
Winter Wonderland's playing in the background. And shaving that thing off.
So it's an at-home surgery.
I mean, should I be doing it? Probably not. But it's fun.
Well, I mean, you
Mom's
know what?
Opening up gifts.
Yeah,
it's fun.
You know what the hell you're doing. Cataracts.
Mm-hmm.
In Border Collie's left eye. My Border Collie was born blind in her left eye. It's a cataract. Can this move on over to her other eye?
Well, if it's juvenile cataracts, they were born with it. That is genetic. Typically, they have it at birth. So I would suspect no if it's not there already. But if the dog unfortunately developed it as it gotten older, yes, it will move on to the other eye. Yeah. Potentially.
That's no good for puppy.
No.
Oh, poor dog.
Not good for puppy. I love this question, the way this one was texted in. Will my yellow lab stop chasing a ball or have a heart attack first? We've all known that dog.
I mean, my guess is a heart attack. They will never stop. They'll never stop.
We've all known that dog where you just cannot believe how many laps back and forth they've made. How can you not be near death right now?
Your arm is just cooked.
Yeah. Tommy John surgery the next day.
Yeah.
I always heard that even though you can't tire them out, you're just like conditioning them to be able to like run more.
Endurance, right? Yep.
Yeah, just put them on a dog treadmill or something like that.
Those are a thing. Water treadmills, all that stuff. Yeah.
We've got a treadmill, and one of our dogs loves to try and get up on that thing.
Yeah.
He wants to walk right next to you.
Any wipeouts yet?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The first time he tried to get up there, and that's how we found out he wanted to get up there, is he kind of went on it sideways.
Oh, no.
And so, it took him out real quick.
That's kind of funny.
Has he wiped you out?
No.
We don't want
I'm going too slow to get wiped out. So
we don't need you to tear an ACL at home because your Great Dane wants to dance with you on the treadmill or whatever.
Oh, yeah, he loves that thing.
Oh, wow. Earlier we were having a conversation about dogs like Huskies and Bernese Mountain Dogs, and there was one other breed you mentioned that loved the cold. I can't remember.
Oh, Newfoundland.
Newfoundlands, yeah.
Yeah, Greater Swiss, all those Nordic breeds.
And you mentioned that, you don't have to worry about your dog. Your dog knows when it's cold. It'll bring itself towards the door or all the way inside. But has everyone seen this gimmick? I always loved this. And a listener texted in about this. My old dachshund Ozzy would do this stuff. He thought he was tough because he was German. And he would go outside in the terrible cold. And then he would do, he's walking around in the snow, and then he would do the lift up the paw bit.
Oh, yeah.
My paw's cold. Come get me. I always thought that was... I'm like, just take 10 more steps, tough guy. You're almost there. But he'd stop, and he'd just lift up the paw, the one that was coldest, and are you going to come out? And a listener texted in saying he has boxers they give up in the yard.
They're kind of funny like that.
Yeah.
They're tough guys, but they also can be a little wimpy.
They would give up and stare into the window, and he'd have to run out and carry them in the cold. They just can't go on.
One of our dogs shivers uncontrollably. I feel so bad for him.
Too.
Well, they don't have the Great Danes have very short hair.
Oh yeah. There's not much going on.
It's like he's nude out there. It's like he's damn nude. All right, Dr. Andrea, you've given enough.
Awesome.
You've given enough, and so have we. But thanks. Always a riot around here.
Yeah, thank you.
We appreciate it very
Thank you.
much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thanks.
This is weird. There are a lot of birthdays in the listening audience today. I'll get through as many as I can, and I apologize if we miss a text, especially on big text days like when Dr. Andrea's in. It gets tough to keep up.
Is there something about what's the holiday 9 months ago?
Boy, I don't know.
Someone go backwards in a calendar.
That'd be April?
No, then I can't come up with anything, because isn't that usually how it works? A lot of babies are born...
Yes, I don't know. Maybe we push
opening day or something. I don't know.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, it could be St. Patty's Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Anyways, happy birthday to Joe the Plumber from your cousin Electrical Jesus. Dick Bukaki, happy birthday to you from Balzac, Kentucky. Jenna Tools, Drew P. Wiener.
Oh, they're all getting you now.
What do you mean? These are birthdays in the listening audience. Anita Handy, Willie Banger, Tess Stickles, and Stan Kbet.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor. Dana here for Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. We all know January is one of the coldest months of the year, and not that cheery, fun kind of Christmas cold. Nah, just the dark, dank January cold. Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is well aware of this, and that's why they're offering $40 off a furnace tune-up to keep you warm during the Minnesota cold. The last thing you want is to be huddled around an iffy space heater you bought from some shady targeted ad. Oh, and how about this? Standard Heating and Air Conditioning has now been helping Minnesotans for over 95 years. So book your appointment now at standardheating.com. That's standardheating.com.